Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 276. Fueled by First Form. Oh, my God.
Yoink.
You hear that?
You screw up my yoink every time,
I didn't
homie.
mean to do that, dude. My voice is cracking today.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hey, real quick, I'm not going to cuss for at least the first 10 minutes because I think that hinders our algorithm on YouTube, which you guys should subscribe to, by the way. Subscribe to our YouTube, like it, and it'll pop up and whatnot. But I think if I cuss in the first 10 minutes, I was talking to some of my buddies that have big YouTube channels, and they're like, yeah, that's not good for the algorithm because YouTube's listening, and they're like, ooh, you said something hardcore off the bat.
really?
So I'm not going to cuss.
Okay.
I can be disciplined.
You've really been making me cuss a lot more lately, too.
You're cussy poo last one, weren't you?
So I'm not going to do that either anymore.
Well, good for you. Good for you. What's up with you?
So I'm not going to do it for the first 10, 15 minutes either.
We'll see how it lays out.
We'll see if Cam can hang on and do that. Hey, listen, I'm not hearing very well out of my left ear. So I don't know what happened, what's going on. I think it may be from my earpiece that I constantly have in my ear. It's doing something to clog up the eardrum. So if I need you to repeat things a couple times.
Don't play a shtick with me.
No,
though.
dude, I'm not.
Don't play a shtick with
It's
me.
not.
Like, I know your job's really difficult.
No.
It's a really difficult
if
job. to wear
I
earpiece.
can't hear very well, like I'm constantly going like this. There's a lot of things that are going on right now. So
Don't force issues.
but I may need you to repeat
Okay,
it.
I'll repeat.
Like
That's
if I
all
can't,
good.
like if I can't hear you.
I got you.
I'm just saying I can't hear very
Don't
well.
be annoying with that.
No, I'm just saying.
No one cares about that.
It's been.
So what'd you do over
bothering
the
me.
weekend? What do you got going? What's up? Anything?
Oh, dude. Yeah, we actually had a great weekend because it's the All-Star break, but we didn't go anywhere. The wife is mad at me because I canceled our trip to Vegas. Yeah, she
saved
wasn't
you
happy
$6,000.
about that. Well, the weather wasn't very nice. She was like, let's go to Vegas and hang out at the pool the whole time. I'm like, well, okay. So we booked the trip and then find out the pools are all closed.
Oh, really?
Like they're not open till March. So
Oh,
there are no
really?
pools. I thought it's like,
me too.
I thought it's like going to Florida or something.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, so it's
Actually,
not
that's
like
interesting.
that. Yeah. So now you know, don't go there. And it's like a high of like 50 degrees. It's very windy. It's very gray. So it wasn't what we were looking to do. So there was some other stuff going on though, because I do miss like Chloe's soccer stuff. I miss all the time. She had some games this weekend, so I wanted to be here for that too. So it actually worked out. But we, the wife and I went out Friday night. Had a fantastic time, just the two of us, and had dinner and we needed a night like that. It was.
Did you get a hotel room?
What do you mean?
Well, listen, if you're dating and you have kids and you're married for quite a long time, like you guys been together for a long time, sometimes like the sex drive kind of when there's kids around, like it's just like you're not into it. But once you go with your wife
To a hotel?
like
Yeah.
it's automatically snaps back
Yeah,
on.
it happens when you go to a hotel. Yeah.
So sometimes you just gotta get a hotel, like
I
and
know.
just go to the Four Seasons or go to the Ritz-Carlton, get a night out, get a babysitter, let them sleep at your in-laws' house or whatever. Go to the Ritz, have a good meal, go back up the room, and get down with it.
Yeah, I don't understand why people rent hotel rooms.
In their own
Like,
city.
Yeah, that doesn't do it for me.
I just explained why.
No.
Sometimes it's nice to get away from, even if you have a nice house, it's nice to get away. You get to order room service. You have people taking care of you. You're away from the kids. It's not far.
yeah,
it's easy.
but they could sleep out anyway, and I could just have my whole house to myself as it is.
I'm just saying, it's
A lot of people
change
do
of
that.
scenery.
You know what
is
they
good.
call it? They call it a staycation. That's what they call
Yeah,
it.
it's a change of scenery. You know what I mean?
A change of
Sometimes you're
scenery.
horny in a hotel room.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing. So unless you're staying like a Motel 6 that has hepatitis A through Z.
Saturday, we took the families to downtown St. Louis on Saturday night.
Lovely.
Couldn't find parking.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe you couldn't find parking downtown St. Louis. It's so packed everywhere. It's a ghost town.
There's a parking lot attached to it. I'll give Putt Shack a shout out. It was cool. Putt Shack.
But I saw your
Yeah,
yeah.
it was cool. I
Oh,
mean,
cool.
I think everyone
that-
had fun.
Yeah.
They've got like bars there. It's like
If I had kids, I want my kids to get into golf though. I think that'd be really cool.
we're gonna do that this spring and summer.
Yeah, see what they he's shooting pucks like to see if he finds his rhythm.
Yeah.
Be really cool.
I think
Especially
so.
my daughter. I would love her to be getting to golf.
Your daughter.
If I had a daughter.
Oh.
My sperm doesn't work. We've established
Yeah.
this last
No,
podcast.
I'm gonna get all three of my kids into golf. We plan on doing that, and you know what? I'm taking it too. I'm going to take golf lessons
should.
also because I've never taken golf
You
lessons.
got to, man.
And since you're the only golfer I know that's worse than me, you should probably take them with us.
I do need them, 100%. if you're good at golf, it's just decent, where you can just keep up in different tournaments.
Yeah.
You're not duffing it every time. Maybe you'll hit a slice and it's a little, but you might lose your ball here and there. But if you're okay, like it makes the game so much better.
A friend of
just okay.
A friend of yours who I know, when he was explaining it to me recently, he said that you've never actually golfed.
Oh yeah.
Like golfing would be like not picking up your ball, not like
doing the right thing. You don't
like
even know what the rules are anyway, so you've never done it either. But
you got to like keep score the whole
in
time.
These big tournaments,
you've never
I
golfed.
played in every tournament in this town, dude. Every single one I get invited to. I have to turn down tournaments on Mondays. I can't miss work. When I wasn't working in the mornings, I was at every single tournament. So no, dude, you can't.
That's a foursome. That's a scramble.
Not all of them.
That's a scramble.
They're all different. Man.
You've never kept score.
Yes, I have.
What's your score?
God awful. Mine was god awful. Yeah, like way over 100.
Who's keeping?
I did it.
Who's keeping score for you?
I did it a couple times where I legitimately, and I was still drinking because I just can't not drink on there. It is what it is. But I legitimately took my score because my buddies forced me to do it. Like, just do this. Just try it. And it makes it that you play better when you're paying attention like that. You play better even you're not moving your ball. You're marking it. You're waiting your turn. You do it right. Like it's actually fun to do. But am I ready to do that every single time? No. I like to just sometimes drop it here or whatever the case is. But I did that a couple times, and I didn't score well, but it was a good lesson, man, to like really keep an eye on everything, do the right thing. I've
never done it.
You know what I mean? You would be annoying, like if people.
I've never done it.
No, I know you haven't, but like
you don't even.
You would step on Andy, like step on your line. Andy talks the whole time. He talks in your backswing, like it's all about him. Like, where's my guys? What guys? Where's my ball? Guys, where's my club? Where's my club? Now you got to turn around and go get his fucking club.
I left.
What time?
You just cussed, dude.
It's been
13
minutes,
10
baby.
minutes?
13 minutes.
Really? Are we good to go?
Yeah, 13 minutes.
My ear, dude. For my algorithm, I was trying to.
But he's a terrible golfer because, like, sometimes you hit it okay, but again, it's about him. Like he's asking questions about his game. What do I do here? Where's my club? What's this?
Which club do I need?
Which club do I need? What do I?
Where's the pin? Where's
the pin? It's right there. Where do we go? I left something.
Does this hole hook to the left? Does it hook to the right?
And that's fine. If you don't know
How far
where the
is
hole
it?
is.
How far is
Yeah, but you
it?
could just look at your cart.
Yeah.
It's got everything right there. The navigation. It's just annoying, but it's all good.
But you know what I find? I find when I golf with really good golfers, they're very
better.
They're very patient with me. And they love helping me.
Not at all.
No,
they
do.
are annoyed.
No,
by
they really love helping me.
They're faking that.
Oh, you
no
think
one
they're
ever
faking
listen.
it?
I'm telling you,
I would have never have known.
That's why you never golf. No one ever invites you, man. They don't want you because you slow it down, and every little thing that's not golf etiquette their radar picks up on that so quick. Trust me, I used to be that way bad, dude. And I had guys be like, Cam, stop walking on the line. Wait, do that. Yeah. And you're like, okay, I got you. Over the years, you figure it out.
No,
you're on level 1.
I get asked often, and they say, "Do you golf?" Like thinking, like, "Hey, do you golf?"
Who's they? But I'm just saying, like, again, it's just the real good golfers get annoyed by shitty golfers, and rightfully so.
I don't find that to be the case.
Yeah, they do. You're a charity case. They don't want that all the time, and I get it because I was the same way too. Still am once in a while, but I know I know what to do, where to go, not to talk. There's a lot that goes.
Kind of like
it's just like in hockey.
If Bieber shows up to like,
I'm gonna get into Bieber in a second, but it's just like in hockey. When we play with the alumni, or you guys go out there and have a pickup game, and you've been playing hockey for a long time, you know the dipshits. You know the guys that don't get back, the guys that take slap shots and when the puck's rolling, the guys that hook you, the guy that tries to lift your stick, but he's so stupid with it, he just misses your eyeball, like things like that. Hockey players, dude, you could just tell guys on another team that don't know what they're doing. They're running into people. They're hitting you right in the ankle. Like they're just doing the fucking shit that when we play, you're like, don't hook me in one of those games. So like the golfers are the same way.
One time.
And now you're annoying in both sports, actually, now that I think about it.
Hang on, I want to tell you something because like I was playing in a pickup hockey game one time, like, to your point, and a guy on my team just out of nowhere, in his own end, like around his own blue line, just like takes a slap shot.
Yeah, dude.
Hits me in the face, dude.
Yeah, I doubt that. See,
No.
Now this is a story that's exaggerated.
No, hits me in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm bleeding everywhere. I had to go to the hospital.
Oh,
and
see, that's a pain.
Get stitches.
Dude.
It's
Yeah.
11:30 at night, dude.
Yeah, that stuff drives me nuts, man. Like
Actually,
if you guys play, those guys. Like they'll be on the blue line, and like they keep it alive, and like the puck's bouncing, and they'll just turn, no look, slap shot, and it goes.
Yeah. The next morning, I'll never forget. I had to go out to Jackie Joyner Kersey's facility there in East St. Louis with stitches all over my face.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool being like, I got hit with a puck last night.
No, when you get stitches, when I was getting stitches at a young age and going to school the next day, like you're kind of like you're getting a lot of attention. Like, what happened? Like, this guy stuck me in the face, man. Boom, I got this, got that. So, but when you get older, like that sucks. If you get hurt, and I'm surprised it don't happen more often. I remember one time you might have been out there, like we're skating with the alumni, and I think there's a pass across. It's a cross-ice pass, and I got my stick out like this, and it hit, Chase Ernst or whatever, right in the face. I tipped it, boom, knocked his teeth out. He had to go get just reconstruction on all his teeth. Like, that happens. Scott Mellenby got rocked a couple times, I remember. Lost his mind. Some guy out there just tried to lift his stick, and that's dangerous to do, man. And he missed, and he smoked Mel.
Really?
Caught him open, and Mel is tough, man, and hates that shit. And he was so mad about it.
So what did he do?
Yelled at the guy, and we're like, whoa, Mel, let it go. Yeah, he was pissed.
Did he try to go get the guy?
No, he calmed down, went in the locker room. The guy was just like basically crying. He just hurt Mellenby.
He didn't mean to do it.
Didn't mean to do it, but there's lessons to be learned. I know.
You probably you're like in a hole. You're like, oh my God, I just clipped Scott Mellenby.
Yes,
and he wants to kill me.
It costs you money. Like when you get hurt like that, you roll your ankle, dude. Like, imagine you rolled your ankle, like getting around to go to the Blues practice, getting around in the house. Lori's taking care of everything. The kids are going crazy. You're stuck there like, I got hurt in hockey.
Yeah.
You got hurt at 10:30 at Webster? She's probably like, fuck you.
I know. It was like 11:30.
Or your face gets fucked up and you got to get all your teeth fixed. That costs thousands of dollars.
I didn't leave the game.
He's a warrior.
I stayed in the rest of the game.
He's a warrior. I did watch.
But you know what? Can I tell you one other thing, though? I had a broken ankle at one point in time, and I had to get 20 stitches in my lip at the same time.
That's cool.
And so, dude, that was a terrible situation. I got attacked by a dog, dude.
I know. I think we heard the story before.
Did you
was
hear
it a
that
werewolf? Dogs, man, you could have sued the shit out of that. Whoever did.
It was my dog.
Oh God.
I know.
Take care of it.
It was
probably hungry.
It was a Cocker Spaniel I had when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just attacked me right in the face.
When you picked it up or
Dude,
something?
it would attack anybody that came to the house. Like, it wasn't like an attack dog, but it would go crazy. It went through a glass window at one point in time. I mean, it was fearless, man. Just absolutely. And it would be one of those dogs, if you're walking by with a dog, like it's trying to
those are annoying.
Kill you.
Those dogs
through
are
the
annoying.
window, through the screen door. But no, we just there was a piece of pizza or something like that on the couch. He would try to get it away from him. Just turned around.
Done.
Right.
Do you have to put it down?
Dude, 20 stitches.
You put it down?
No, he was like a family dog, dude.
Well, when your family dog bites you for 20, like
we had him for a good 10 years up to that point.
Yeah, I
dude.
know. Well, that's when you put it down, man. Like
really?
Well, if it's biting you,
Cam's like, you just put him down.
No, I'm a realist.
You think you put the dog down?
If a dog's biting people, including the owner,
trying to get to the pizza.
Okay, so so he didn't bite you. He accidentally bit you.
I think.
Well, tell the story because no, you do. Let me explain before you go crazy. I'm just saying, and I'm a dog lover. I just did the puppy parade downtown, Grand Marshal. Lovely experience. Cute puppies everywhere. I'm surprised more didn't fight with each other. But if your dog is biting you at a late age, meaning like it's losing its shit, what do you think is going to happen to little Johnny when he comes over to hang out? Like, then now you're on your dude. You think in your fucking neighborhood? If some of those kids get bit because your dipshit dog is losing his mind and you don't put it down after it bit you and it bit a kid, they're going to sue the shit out of you, dude. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to know when the dog's losing it, man. It's hard to do.
We kind of he wasn't like, I walked in the house and he attacked me, something like that. He wanted to get to the food on the couch, dude. I was grabbing it at the same time. He was trying to get it and he just turned around, got me in the lip, dude. But I had another dog though, Cam, where I had to go to court, where a lady who was kind of like a homeless lady, like always intoxicated and walking around, roaming the neighborhood. This is in Arizona, and but everybody knew who she was. And I used to let my dog just kind of roam around everywhere, whatever. Just I just had to do a little.
That's what Hoosiers do, just so you know.
No, just
well, you see roaming in the backyard of your neighbor's house.
Come right back.
Okay, that's good.
Immediately, dude.
That's
and no, I wouldn't go all around. Just chill, hang out. So she called the police accusing my dog of attacking her.
Oh, no.
And in the police report, it said, like, no redness, no swelling, all those type of stuff. I was like, no puncture wounds. It's like, she did.
So what happened?
So nothing happened. But
Trevor Bauer's accuser.
But because, kind of like that. Yeah, it was similar to that.
People try to get money out of you, man.
She, because my dog wasn't registered in the county in Arizona where I lived, it was registered back here in St. Louis. They forced my dog to go into quarantine for 10 days, dude. And I wouldn't turn the dog in. They were like on a manhunt trying to find me, dude. They're calling. They're showing up at the house. I was hiding out at a friend's house with the dog. And my buddy was like, dude, you got to get out of here. You can't. Because they're going to come here like looking. And so I had to turn the dog in. So I was so distraught. And then I ended up leaving. Like I went to New Orleans for like a week and a half to go to Jazz Fest, whatever. Just like, get me out of here. And came back. And listen, they kept the dog at this quarantine place, whatever. When I got the dog back, it was like limping and everything. It took a while to get conditioned back, dude. Who knows what they did to her?
Yeah, and we got scammed, and just so you guys know.
And I had to pay for it per night, dude.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's expensive. So we got scammed. We wanted a doggy. Kate's dog died. I had cats about 6-7 years ago, so we're like, okay, let's go rescue a dog. Kate found this cute dog. They said she was 3 years old. She's been through some tough times. Somebody, poked her in the eye. She had kind of an eye problem. Like she was abused, but they said she's sweet. And when Kate went to go pick her up with her mom, she walked in, and the dog and Callie was just like hi and really just like chill. She didn't bark whenever Kate showed up to the house, and like, oh, she's just really chill. She just wants to love it. Okay, let's get her. We've done this for a long time. Like my parents have done that. We rescue dogs, whatnot, and they've been pretty good for the most part. But they said no, she doesn't bark, doesn't do anything. So like, okay. Callie comes to our house, and we're at the blue collar part of Eureka. So there's a lot of people coming and going to my house, people walking by all the time, other dogs and whatnot, families. And we get her, and she's sweet. She's laying on the couch. She sleeps. Everything's fine. The next day we get up. We let her go to the bathroom, come back in. We're sitting on the couch watching TV, and I keep the screen. We have a glass door so you can see outside in the front door. Somebody shows up.
Is this the dog you're talking about?
Let me talk. Somebody shows up to the house, knocks on the door. Callie gets up like a werewolf and goes, bam, smashes into our glass door, freaks out our neighbor, like, what's going on here? We just post on social media, hey, we got a new puppy. People wanted to come see it.
What kind of dog?
It was an American Bulldog rescue. Mm-hmm. And so and every single time from that point, she would turn into a werewolf when somebody would roll in. And finally, it took her a while to like calm down when they came in the house. But every time somebody walked by, she was like a bull trying to get, one of those Spanish guys running in the
God.
Anyway, it was god awful.
Running with the bulls.
So that family that sold it to us basically lied to us, and they probably sedated her when we showed up. So when Kate opened the door, when she showed up, picked the dog up, she was sedated, and that's why she didn't do anything. So it just happened the next day.
That's a lot of like conspiracy that you have going on here. I think this is very natural. Anybody who's ever been around dogs and like live with dogs understands that like some dogs just like.
Well, we didn't want that then. We wouldn't adopt her. And drove 2 hours.
But then they chill out eventually.
No, they didn't. She didn't, dude.
So how long did you give her a chance to?
We kept her until she died.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we didn't get rid of her.
I thought you got rid of the dog right away.
We kept her. My mom and dad had to take care of her. She got calmed down because my dad, who lived right next door, had little Tucky, and they became best friends, and it calmed her down a little bit. So she'd go back and forth, but they always shut their door, and no one's showing up to my mom and dad's house because they're not answering. So she was in a safe zone there, but no, she never got better, and she was probably like 7 years old because she just aged really fast, and it just was sad. So I'm just.
I got you. I thought you got rid of the dog because I know people that like get dogs and then they don't know how to take care of a dog. They don't know how to raise a dog.
That pisses me off.
So a week later, they get rid of the dog. They're like, oh, well, I got a Bernese Mountain Dog and I just did not want a big dog.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, well, dude, you got a Bernese Mountain Dog, so the chances are the dog's going to be big.
Yeah, in big time. And it's going to shed, and it's going to be annoying, and it's going to be running around doing crazy shit. And I remember even playing in the minors, and like some of these young guys would show up, maybe sharing an apartment, shithole apartment in Albany, and they're like, we want to get a dog. And they'd come in, and like me and Rod Pelly, who's an awesome guy, the older guys on TV, like, what? You're getting a dog? Like, where do you? No, you're not.
Yeah, who's the owner of the dog?
No, you're not. You're going to get a dog. How can you think you can have a dog right now? You're single. You're living with a teammate. You have nowhere for this dog to walk. You live in an apartment, and you're traveling every single weekend. Don't get a dog. Don't do it. And a couple guys did, and they had to get rid of it in 2 weeks. Like, what the hell are you doing?
So recently we were out of town. So Blay stayed at this lady's house, dude, and she watches like all the Blues players' dogs when they go out of town, like the road trip. Like they all have dogs. So then when they go on the road, you always wonder what do they do with the dogs? You know, it made me think of it when you said these guys. Well, like, how do you take care of a dog? So there's this lady, dude. And she has a house. It's not like a kennel, because like we took Blay to the kennel a couple times, and it came back with like a skin disease. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
It's like eating his foot.
Yeah.
It was not a good situation. So this lady, dude, it's like they just hang out in the house, dude. There's like dog beds in the house. There's no cages, and she's just chilling out with all the.
Still costs money.
She's not very expensive, man. Less expensive than it is to leave at the kennel, dude. And so she's sending me pictures and stuff like that. It's like hanging out with like this player's dog, but I don't want to say the name.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like but she doesn't.
But they didn't have that when I'm talking.
She doesn't like advertise that that's the dogs that she watches, man. But just randomly happen, and so you find a good spot like that, you can whatever. Because I'm thinking about getting a second dog right now, but I want
just what you need. Another dog, like you got 3 kids, you got Blay, and you're gonna get another one. Is it for Blay?
No, it's for me. I want my type of dog.
Like what?
I want like a husky.
You might
or,
a husky
or like
you want
huskies
like
are so
guard dog?
independent, kind of a little bit.
Well, that's a husky's.
I want a dog
that's
just I can like wrestle around with and just you know what I'm saying. And
you can't wrestle around with Blay.
I can, but I want a dog that I can just open the door and like he's just gonna chill and just follow me around. And
good luck with that. You know, it's hard to tell what dog's gonna be what.
No,
you know what I mean?
know. Huskies are very.
Why don't you get 5 more dogs and just maybe one of them will be good?
Huskies are very independent too. Those dogs,
and he doesn't like his dog, so he's gonna get another one.
those dogs
Lord.
actually don't hang around. Huskies will like if anybody's ever been around a husky, but no, dude, I like my dog.
That sounds like it.
He's just more of a kid's like family dog. I need like a dog that can go into the woods with
direwolf
and
and go hunting.
Go.
Because you're so outdoorsy, and he's
like
at the rink all damn day, and he wants to get an outdoor dog.
Hunting dog.
Yeah.
When
you're a big hunter.
When I'm collecting wood in the back, you know, that can like hang out with
in your
me.
neighborhood. I did
fetch sticks, can catch frisbees.
I did watch the All-Star Game, and I got to give
like start to finish. Did you watch the skills too?
Yeah, Kucherov. No, we'll get into that. But I want to give a shout out real quick. Justin Bieber, like. He is what he is, man. Yeah. Do I listen to his music? No. You might. You probably do.
No, he's got some good music.
Very successful. Big hockey fan, of course. You know, lives in Canada. Yeah. Huge with the Leafs and all that. And, you know, when you got out of the limo and whatnot, he's got his goofy outfit on with he just kind of looks goofy, and that's fine. It's his style, man. He's cooler than I am. A lot more vagina than I've ever gotten. He's a cool cat. But for him to go out there, though, and twirl around with the boys and warm-ups and kind of just troll around and rip pucks and steal a couple pucks from guys and do that. Like, I thought that was pretty damn cool. Dude. Like, all these other guys, like these guys that are huge fans of sports and hockey and stuff, none of them can skate. And he's like the one guy that actually played a little bit growing up.
Probably.
And
he's
it was
Canadian.
pretty cool to see that.
He's Canadian.
But when I watched him, though, and just the way he skated and the way he shot, I'm like, he looks just like Andy.
He does not.
Like his knees are kind of like caved in a little bit.
They're not,
and his skates are like really loose because he's not strong enough probably to like unless he had wax laces.
Dude, his
ankles
I
had to
were
text
like
you.
this.
And I don't even text Andy and chirp him ever. Like I truly don't because I do it on here. But like I'm watching Justin Bieber and I'm like, man, I got you. It looked just like you.
He did not.
So
I knew you were
He's
thinking
a
that
huge singer.
when I saw him because
he looked just like you.
I don't skate like that.
Yeah, you do.
His ankles were like bending, dude.
That's what you do. You don't even know you're doing that.
Did you see a slap shot, dude? Listen,
exactly my point.
Listen, he was
exactly my point.
He was he couldn't have been happier to be out there. It was like it was a bigger deal for him. I mean, the guy's like celebrating on the bench, like with every goal, like they're going crazy.
Yeah.
And Monty's like, yeah. But I think Bieber kind of brought that out of him.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
And they kind of had the hometown team, obviously, with all the Leafs players on that team. So the crowd was behind it.
Yeah. I thought he looked pretty cool, man.
Bieber, I can't chirp Bieber.
No, man.
He got hit by Pronger in a charity game a few years back.
Yeah.
Remember his face was up against the glass?
Yeah, it was a big meme.
Pronger hit, and he loves hockey.
Yeah.
It was like, he even said it on the ice. It was a dream come true for him to be out there. And you could tell, man, like you saw a different side of Bieber. The guy's like, You see his face in all the pictures he's taking with the players.
He's excited.
He's got like the biggest smile ever.
I know. He's like,
It was
he's throwing around
it
with
was
his,
like he won a contest or something.
he was like
that.
throwing around, like stealing guys' pucks and stuff like that. It was cool.
Yeah.
Like for him to be able to do that, I think is really cool. Then he sings like, I don't know, Mike.
He didn't perform there, did he?
I thought he performed at one of the events.
But I will say, in comparison to like every other concert the NHL has ever put on, and every other event they've ever put on, it was like way less geeky than it's ever been. You know, they
I agree with
they
that.
normally have, it's like kind of like nerdy, a little like on the D-list celebrity. It's cool for like Canada. It's very Canadian. You know?
It's a Canadian thing,
it's like a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
This was like, wow, you got like a pop singer who like, okay, she's saying, I don't really know who she was, but then you hear her songs, you're like, oh, I know all her songs.
Canadian.
Yeah, I've heard her songs. She's
Have
Canadian.
you? I haven't heard.
I've heard of. You know, I got 2 daughters, man. I hear the songs.
I figured that.
Yeah, I hear the songs, and like, so she's like relative. I even asked my girls. I'm like, dude, look, do you know who she is? They all knew who she was. So, you know, Bieber obviously, Bieber's not doing it unless he's like on the same team with Matthews and Marner and those guys.
He should be.
You know what I'm saying? So like, those are like his legit buddies, his friends. Huge Leafs fan. You know, Will Arnett. I don't know a ton about him.
Yeah.
He was okay in the interviews. Michael Bublé, that's kind of like in the past he would be like the headliner for the NHL. You know, now he was like one of the headliners, but like below a few of the others. So the NHL has never been great at putting on events. You know what I'm saying? This was one of the better ones.
That was pretty good.
I thought the skills competition was great. You didn't have like guys like dressing up in like costumes and doing stupid shit that wasn't interesting, where you're just like basically wasting our time. Like you got to watch the skills competition where they're not even trying to score on the breakaway because they're like blindfolded or something.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
The goalie's like, okay.
It's not entertaining. There's nothing, and the goalies don't even try.
Yeah.
Or you have like somebody's like son come out and take the breakaway for them, who's like 4 years old. Like it's cute and everything, but it's
you
not.
would love if Ty did that. Like let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
No, I agree with that. I thought it was entertaining. No, it truly was.
Guys were trying in the skills competition for the most part outside of Coochie.
Coochie though. I don't get that. You know what I mean? And I know he probably don't want to be there. I know a lot of those guys don't want to be there. They're obligated to go. They're superstars. He's probably one of the best player in the league. But he could have just went a little bit harder and no one really had noticed. But he like purposely went ultra slow and kind of made a mockery out of it. And then when he was passing and doing this thing, like you could just tell, like he reminded me of like Brett Hall back in the Keenan days.
Was he missing it on purpose?
He seemed like it, Andy. Like totally.
He was
kind
of like, I don't want to do this. He doesn't even want to do this event.
No,
he had nowhere. So he just was like missing, because that was not a very difficult event.
He's just going around the cones.
Like hitting those things would not be that hard.
No, he was. And
he was
a
missing
statement.
them.
He was making a statement, like I don't want to be here. Why am I here? I'm just gonna drag my ass then. But like, why though? Why do? And I love him, but why do that? You're automatically gonna have the fans like, I just paid like $400. Like Coochie, like you're my favorite player.
They were booing
I want to
him.
see you skate. I want to see you shoot. I want to see you make a pass. You're probably the best player in the league right now. Like why don't you just try a little bit?
He played in the game, and you know he kind of tried in the game.
No, but that was like
and he
really
was getting
weird.
Booed.
I'm like, I don't give a shit that
so
much.
So now it's kind of interesting when Tampa Bay comes to Toronto. I'm curious to see how the fans react to Coochie. Maybe it's going to be a carryover.
It's one thing to like
maybe some build up, you know.
It's maybe something to chirp the players and stuff. But when you mock the fans that pay good money for that, and you're just like, screw this. Like, I don't get it. You could have went a little bit harder, and no one would have known.
But we've seen that for years and years and years. Guys,
who's
just
done that?
Oh, the guys
in the All-Star Game.
Oh, the players have never really tried in the All-Star Game
to that extent.
I mean,
well, okay,
that's a skills competition, so it's a little more obvious.
Yeah, well, it was totally obvious.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah,
he made like he knew what he.
It wasn't like he was doing
the
fastest skater competition. It just went half speed.
That would have been the same thing, though.
Which would have been
the same thing.
He just hardly. I'm not gonna chirp Coochie, man. I know he didn't try.
I'm
to
not
me,
chirping him.
Listen,
like,
for me, he didn't try in the passing skills competition. Is it a little bit unnecessary? Yeah, but like whatever, Cooch. At least you came. People are chirping Crosby for coming a day late.
Yeah, because he went to Montana and trolled around.
Skated outside.
That doesn't bother me.
He's earned the right. Like, why would he show up to the draft? He's not even the captain, which is another issue. How are you gonna have Crosby in the All-Star game and not have him as the captain? Like,
in Toronto,
I think he should automatically always be the captain.
Who's the captain again? It was McDavid and
McKinnon.
Oh, is it those two?
There's 4 of them.
Okay, so McKinnon.
Yeah, they were all worthy. Quinn Hughes.
No, that's fine.
No, they're all
automatically
worthy
need to be captain.
Crosby?
Nah.
If Gretzky was in an All-Star game, I think he automatically wears the C every time.
Okay, but I love Crosby. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
one of the best of the best, and it's fun to watch. But that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And that doesn't bother me. Him trolling around in Montana. He went up there. He kind of did a little documentary. I don't give it. But Cooch, like, what if little Ty loves Cooch, man? He's watching. There he is. He's gonna win, Daddy. He's gonna win. And Cooch is like with a cigarette in his mouth, like kind of cruising around, just like you would in a fucking Brentwood skate at 10:30.
What do you think he was doing all day long before that?
Doesn't matter, man. You could suck that up, dude. You know what I mean? Everybody's partying.
Yeah, because
we should have. I feel like we need to take the pod down to the next one.
Yeah,
I kind of think so.
well, this would have been the one to go to
in Toronto.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of
No,
cold.
the one to go to is down in Florida.
I'm just saying, Toronto.
Make a trip out of it.
I think it brings out the best in a lot of players because they know they're on the big stage. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like because it was in Toronto, I think it made it more exciting, and I think it just led to the event being a success.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what I mean?
Again, I thought it was entertaining. Better than the goddamn Pro Bowl, which is boring as shit.
I tried watching some of that.
The
too.
baseball All-Star Game is.
They used to be great back in the day.
I used to like the bombs, but now I don't know. All-Star games are kind of shitty, to be completely honest.
I mean, are
with
you really breaking down the All-Star game? I mean,
it's the topic
Yeah,
going right
it
now.
is.
What do you want to talk
No,
about your stories about your
no.
dog for the 14th time? Like
I
don't
thought
even-
it was it was
pretty good.
guys were trying in the 3-on-3 too.
I mean, there's still drama.
Not a
going
whole
on.
lot of goals scored in some of those games.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. The goalies were
When
the goalies
were
are on,
great,
dude. That makes it more fun.
I like that breakaway challenge they were doing.
Yeah,
I thought that
competitive.
was Yeah, I just thought that was they get a 60-second clock, whatever it is,
Yeah, I like that.
and you got to score as many goals. The goalies were on fire in that drill,
Pretty dang cool.
in that event.
Pretty dang cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are the big stories in the NHL right now? I
Well-
would say
Can I tell you this though? Because I got a problem with one of them.
what?
I just think that it's a slap in the face that, like, you look at all these guys that are there, that are at the All-Star game, representing the NHL. You got Kucherov leading the NHL in scoring. Pasternak is obviously one of your biggest, brightest superstars. Roman Josi is one of your best defensemen. You've got 4 of your top 8 goaltenders probably in the NHL right now being European or being from Russia, and these guys can't even participate. We're going to stop the season next year for 4 countries to play in a tournament where a number of your true, legitimate, top-shelf superstars aren't allowed to participate. I just think that's kind of ridiculous, dude.
So, are you talking about
The 4-nation tournament they're going to have next year.
See, I didn't even read up on that.
Just have the All-Star game again. They're not going to have the All-Star game. Everyone's like, oh, best on best. It's not best on best. You don't have Russia playing.
No shit.
You don't have Czechia playing.
Yeah.
And I know, like, even Slovakia, they don't probably have enough NHL players to field a full roster. But it doesn't matter. Like, they've created all these stupid teams in the past, Team Europe and all. Create another one.
Yeah, it's
Get
easy to
these
do.
guys in the event.
So explain the event. What are they saying they're going to do?
It's just USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden.
Oh, really?
And then in 2026 and 2030, you're going to have the Olympics. Hey, listen, last time I checked, Russian players, Czechia players, they all pay their dues to the NHLPA.
Yeah.
This is an NHL and NHLPA event. I've talked to a number of agents, man, NHL executives, players I've texted as well. People are pissed off about this. It's a slap in the face, man. It's so unnecessary. When you look at how many countries make up the National Hockey League, how great these players are and how great some of these players are that come from European countries, and you're going to stop the league. You're just going to stop it and only have 4 countries participate in the tournament. Like, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense
I
to
don't
me,
get
dude.
it. You Draisaitl and them not gonna be in.
Draisaitl can't
Yeah.
participate. What?
Yeah. No, I get that. That's fair.
Like, the Olympics is different because all these guys are going to be
So
there.
is that the World Cup then?
Well, they're calling it the Foreign Nations something.
4?
Like, that has a very junior hockey feel
Yeah.
to me.
4 teams like this.
Like, what are we scouting?
I agree with you, man. When I saw it, I didn't really. I'm like 4 nations. Like I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
I was looking it up today, man, just to see, like,
The Olympics, so good. Like, let's go. A lot of people are like, I'm an NHL kind of guy. I like the NHL only. No, man. I like when players wear their country on their
Yeah,
chest, dude,
me too.
and represent their country. Like, to me, and not to mention, like, if you're an American, man, you see what
so
happened
the
in
goal,
1980s.
just
whatnot.
Russia alone, the goalies.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
You got Bobrovsky, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Sorokin. Like, that's,
Oh, don't worry about them. I mean, come on. I
okay.
agree with
so,
you, dude.
and then, I'll get into, like, the Russia as a country, dude. We all know how great these these Russians are throughout the NHL. But like Kucherov's leading the NHL in scoring. He won't be there.
Yep.
Panarin won't be there. Kaprizov won't be there.
Damn.
Malkin won't be there. Buchnevich won't be there. Touche. Tarasenko, Ovechkin, Barbashev. None of these guys are good. Okay. Now, let's go to Czechia, who also won't be there. But we're going to have Finland, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I get you.
Finland gets to go. But Czechia, and I know people are going to bring up the war and all this type of stuff with like Ukraine.
Czechia?
No, Russia and Ukraine.
Well,
and all
yeah.
that. Okay, I know I get it. So don't tell me,
We know.
that's why. We know.
Another $80 billion going over
I
there.
think a lot of countries bomb other countries, though.
It's happened throughout history.
You know, yeah. I thought so. Pasternak,
Pasta, baby.
who's cool as shit.
Yeah, he was cool
He
in the All-Star
chirped Toronto, too,
I
afterwards.
saw that. Good
That's
for
what
you.
I'm talking about,
Good
Pasta.
for you. Good for you.
Hronik,
Hronik's a damn good player, dude.
Hurdle, Pavel Zacha, Marty Necas. I mean, Andre Palat, Gudis, dude. There's a lot of good players, man.
What do you think of Vancouver and Winnipeg? Just, man, they're like, fuck this. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're in this right now? No, we'll get a couple more guys. We're gonna try to
I think
try to
Winnipeg.
win.
Monahan, listen, he's been healthy this year. He
It's his
didn't
depth.
put up great numbers,
Depth,
whatever,
center
but he's a
depth.
depth guy, gets a lot of power play points.
Center.
Cap hit isn't too high.
Nope.
So for
don't mind that.
Winnipeg, listen, I don't have a huge issue with that. Now, it's funny because people are like, well, Calgary's going to get Kuzmenko or whatever, and I know he had 39 goals last year, but there's something to be said about these guys that put up a lot of points and score a lot of goals when the team is terrible, and then when the team is the best team in the league, all of a sudden, like the coach is like, no, you're not a good fit here. Like you
Well, you don't
can't,
get back.
you're not scoring now
Yeah.
when we're the best team in the league, but you score when we're the worst team in the league.
Well, I mean, scoring, but is he getting back? Is he getting pucks out of the zone?
But they moved him, and they also got
Yeah.
Calgary got one of their top prospects.
Good for Calgary. You know what I mean? They're in that position where they kind of
Oh, yeah.
they
They're
need
thinking
to do
long
that
term.
shit. What else did they get? A first rounder?
It's always interesting that like Vancouver, you wonder how quickly these teams start making these moves. You know what I'm saying? I know for a guy like Jim Rutherford, man, he's not getting any younger, so he's not.
he's like, we gotta go.
He's not
Yeah.
waiting.
I don't blame
You
him.
know, but they were so bad, had so much drama the last couple of years. They were terrible, and now all of a sudden, just like that, you bring in the new coach. They're the top team in the league, and now they're giving up first-round picks. I mean, things change very, very quickly.
What would you do? Imagine
And I
you're-
like Lindholm.
But what would you do? Like, I know, like, oh, you're terrible, all this drama, and all of a sudden you're really, really good.
Mhm.
And you're like, this is not a fluke.
Yeah.
We are fast.
Mhm.
We got big defensemen. We got goaltending.
Yeah.
We got a coach that is loved by the players. Why not go all in here? Why not? Just be what you think you got to get another year under your belt to try to win this thing? Hell no. Get going on that. Especially Vancouver. The fans deserve it. If I'm Rutherford, I'm like, no, I'm trying. We are going to go all the way. We're going to go all in, and we're going to try to win the damn Stanley Cup.
I get it.
And go as far as you possibly. Because you never know next year, dude. You
Yeah.
just don't know with any of this stuff, man. Like, you don't know. It changes every year. And I don't care if you went from god-awful to unbelievable.
Kuzmenko has
Doesn't
8
matter.
goals this season.
Yeah,
He had
no, I saw him
39
play
last
live,
season.
dude. He didn't
Yeah.
do much.
Yeah. So, I don't mind it, but I also realize like everyone gets so caught up in the trade deadline, and I know you can add players that are really going to help you. But like, listen, the New York
Sometimes it does.
Rangers like won the trade deadline last year. They got Tarasenko, they got Patty Kane.
Yeah, but what'd we say about that?
But
What'd we say about
But
that?
if you're a team like Vegas, if you add the right player and you add a Barbashev, who wasn't like one of the biggest, he's a bigger name now after they win the cup
perfect.
than he was at the time. They were like,
perfect.
oh, they added Barbashev. And then during the playoffs, like, oh my God, they added Barbashev. Like,
yeah, you mean the Stanley
they
Cup
don't
winner?
even know how good these
Yeah.
guys are. When the Blues won the cup, they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. So I listen, I think if you add the right piece versus just adding a piece,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how Lindholm's gonna, connect with that group. They got a lot of good chemistry going. You don't want to disrupt what you have going either.
What's he making?
We got
7.5?
We'll double check that. But
Just curious.
But he gives you some security also if you, for whatever reason, can't keep Pedersen. You know what I mean?
Well, the Blues' big moves were in the offseason that year,
Yeah,
and
they
they didn't
were.
connect. I mean, they went all out and got a bunch of guys, and then of course Bennington was their move. Their move is bringing up Benner.
Yeah.
So they had their own weird
And their
way.
move was adding Chief.
Chief, Benner, and then all the guys kind of
It
coming
really
together.
was.
They went. Army was. I remember Army that Doug Armstrong that summer, 2019 18 summer.
Lindholm's he's at 4.8.
Oh, dude. I mean, okay. But yeah, they got all their players in the summertime, and they just didn't figure it out. And then you get a new goalie that's unbelievable that you didn't even know. And, of course, a new coach and a new voice. And so you kind of didn't really need to do much. Not to mention you weren't losing games.
I know. But then, like, I hear, like, L.A. needs to get a goalie. Like, listen, adding a goalie doesn't guarantee you anything.
What happened?
And we've seen this in the past. You add a goalie at the trade deadline, it's hard for that goaltender to come in, especially when there's a lot of pressure on that goalie.
Yeah.
Where they think they're the missing piece to take them over the top and win a Stanley Cup.
We've seen that, too. With
and that was a different situation. Ryan Miller going from a team where he was seeing like 40 shots a game in Buffalo, and then he's coming to the Blues, and which may have been the best team in the league at the time. Like that's one of the best teams I've ever covered, man.
They were loaded.
That team that Ryan Miller came to, it was my first year doing TV, 2013, 2014. And I remember being on the road in Anaheim. I remember I was kind of freaking out because, I was breaking a lot of stories before I started doing TV. And so I know they didn't want me to do that when I started doing television. And I got a text actually from a player from Buffalo who sent me a text and said, hey, Ryan Miller and Steve Ott are going to St. Louis. They just got pulled off the ice. They're not going on the ice for the morning skate. I don't know if it was right before for the pregame warm-up. I don't know if it was right before warm-up or if they took the ice and then they were pulled off. But he's like, this deal's happening. So I don't know what's going on the other way. Talked to Chris Stewart's people. They're like, yeah, it sounds like he's part of the piece along with Halak going the other way. So I was like, what do I do with this information? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just
What'd you do?
I put it on Twitter. I was like, I hear Ryan Miller and Steve Ott had been pulled off the ice in Buffalo.
That was a big deal in
St. Louis. It's a big deal. And I remember being down in the lobby.
Were your Twitter freaking out?
Oh, they were like, whoa,
I bet.
Wow, they're getting traded from Buffalo. Where are they going? 45 minutes later, it's announced they're coming to St. Louis. So I think people knew what I was getting at, But
no, when that happened in St. Louis, though, everybody's like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That is
the Blues are going to win the Cup.
That's it.
And Ryan Miller, they didn't even re-sign him. They gave up a first-round pick for him. Steve Ott ended up staying.
Stevie was great.
But Miller going from a team where you're facing 40 shots a game, seeing nothing but grade A chances, odd man rushes, breakaways, then you come here, you're like with one of the most structured teams in the league, and you're facing like 18 to 22 shots a game, and you're not seeing odd man rushes. I think that was a tough adjustment for him. So L.A., whatever they are now, because they're, Todd McClellan, man. I mean, Todd McClellan is like the quarterback, and I love Todd because
I like him too.
He's got a great reputation as a coach.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, he's always been that coach that with 2 minutes left of the game, he gets the ball at his own 5-yard line, and he drives the ball all the way down to the opposing 10 and just can't get it in the end zone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Seahawks versus
Patriots. He can't get it in the end zone. Why can't he cross the goal line? I've never, because he's got a great reputation. I've had players tell me he's the best coach they've ever played for.
Yeah.
He just had this L.A. Kings team. I think he's making $5 million a year or something like that too.
Ooh.
They're
that means like two in L.A.
Cup favorite a couple months ago, and this guy couldn't even get past the All-Star break, dude. I mean,
Yoink.
Couldn't even get past the All-Star break. Why is that?
His voice got stale. How does that happen? I don't know. It could be a couple different things. People, if you go online and look, like we're watching LA Kings all the time. I've seen them a couple of times.
I
watched them when they were rolling. I saw them when they were struggling.
They're on late all the time. I watch them.
It's hard, but your voice goes stale. I heard that he didn't change the lineup. Like there's a couple guys that he could have kept, could have brought in the lineup that he didn't, and things like that. So there's a
how much.
What does that mean? I don't know.
How much of it is on management?
Could be
where you don't have a goalie. Okay,
but who gets blamed for stuff? The coach.
I'm saying you don't have a goalie. You have players like Dubois, who we talked about last time, who they just hand out, contracts to.
Yeah.
You got Fiala and some of these. I mean, Fiala's okay, but again, they gave him big time money. I know.
Good player.
They gave Deneau a lot of money. I like Deneau.
Deneau's good.
And he gets to the front of the net too, and he's very good defender. But he's still making some money. So all I'm saying, like, it can't all be on Todd McClellan, but his reputation is never really matched by the overall success he has. He's always had good teams. He had great teams there in San Jose. Couldn't win. Was brought to Edmonton.
San Jose, man.
Couldn't win.
Yeah. San Jose fans, like, I feel for you a little bit. Like, you were there. You kind of feel like Blues fans.
Good,
but you guys haven't been on the game long enough to, like, suffer. The Blues fans had to suffer for 50 years. I mean, that's a long, long time. But damn, like, San Jose had a damn good run for a long time. They did. They were fun to watch. They had character players. They were winning. They just couldn't figure it out.
I just hear all the analysts right now and the LA people being like, well, we just need a goalie. So the idea that the goalie's going to come in and save the day is just not.
Well, if he's good, he will. If you have a damn good goalie and you got a team that's pretty loaded
I understand,
like that,
but I'm saying it's not an automatic. We've seen that here. That's my point with a guy like Brian Miller, man. It's not an easy adjustment for a goaltender.
I get you.
I think it's easier for a player to come to a new team and try to fit in. Even though that takes time, I think it's even more difficult for a goaltender.
And then, like, even with the Devils, too, like, I feel like the Devils fans thought shit was going to go down this year.
Yeah.
What are they?
I think Jack Hughes'
What are they?
injury early on, he got hurt here in St. Louis. I bet this kind of derailed them a little bit.
Fell on the boards.
You know?
I remember that. But that just shows that you're not deep then.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows that you're not ready for it yet. But everybody expected you to be.
Yeah, but like
they did.
I wasn't one of them, though. I thought they were going to be better. I'm not. Listen.
Talk to the people in Jersey, man.
Dude, I
That's
agree
what
with you
matters.
100%.
Yeah.
And all the analysts,
Yes.
they're all saying the New Jersey Devils, Stanley
did.
Cup favorite. It's my
did.
pick to win the Cup.
I
I'm like,
know.
really? I don't know, man. Like, sometimes you got to, like, Vancouver's an example. Like, Vancouver's not winning the Cup this year, in my opinion. They might.
Who is?
Who
is, Andy? Who's winning the Cup?
Good question.
Who do you think's going to win the Cup?
The Edmonton Oilers.
Do you really think so? I see you're just throwing bombs out. No, like Vancouver's not, but Edmonton is. Like,
No,
how do you
no.
like?
Who's going to win?
Give me a reason, though.
Colorado might win the Cup.
I was going to say now you're getting
Vegas
might
might
do it again.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are the teams that I would pick ahead
Me
of
too.
teams like Edmonton, teams like Vancouver. I just think Vancouver.
What about Boston?
They might too.
No one even talks about Boston. People don't even talk about Boston.
Yeah.
Whenever you are so dominant throughout the regular
Right.
season,
You
and
just
everybody talks about you.
Expect it.
Everybody talks about, and then all of a sudden you shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we love Jimmy Montgomery and whatnot, but you shit the bed there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this year, I feel like, the Boston's doing great, but everybody's like, no, because you lost in the first round. We're like, we're not going to talk.
No,
we're going to talk about Vancouver.
I just think they're just
We're
used to
gonna talk
them
about
being
this.
good, and that's part of it. Vancouver's
might win the damn
Vancouver's
thing.
a Canadian team, so
Look at their goalies.
No,
Awesome.
dude, I mean, Swayman, he's not even like their number one, right? He's like in the All-Star game, just shutting
really
guys
good.
down.
They're
I know.
loaded.
No, they're loaded, man.
They're loaded.
And I would be perfectly fine if Boston were to win the Cup, man.
What about the Rangers?
I like Boston, and I like New York.
You know, what about Florida? What about Florida?
Yeah, they could win too.
Like, my God.
So all I'm saying, these teams that just become good overnight and they have a lot of success, I don't think you just march right into even like teams like Tampa Bay, who won. They were good for years before they finally went on their run. St. Louis was good for years before they finally won.
Decade.
Colorado was really good team for a couple years.
They were bad and really good.
Yeah, before they
won
this most recent Stanley Cup. So I just
What about Toronto?
like
Andy?
we'll get to the postseason, and I want to see Pedersen. I want to see Brock Besser.
Yeah,
I want to see
that
Hughes
flow.
when he's getting hit every other shit.
That's another thing.
But
I also want to see Zadorov, who you chirped last, and I want to see Tyler Meyer play their big physical.
Cam loves Zadorov.
I kind of do. You know, Andy finds
Cam
one.
sees him play one game, and he got benched, didn't even play in the third period, and Cam's like, oh, he was great.
I didn't say he was great that game. I think I like him, man. I do. I think he's a big guy, and in the playoffs he could do some things. And Tyler
I hear
Meyer
his
as well.
agents looking for a big payday for Zadorov. I like Zadorov.
I'm just telling you, man. Big defensemen are the key to win the Stanley Cups, as we've seen throughout the history. But yeah, I don't know. I'm rooting for Vancouver. I'm rooting for you Canadian folk. You deserve.
He's a UFA after
You
this
deserve
season.
it. You deserve something. It might not be Toronto. It's certainly not going to be Ottawa or Montreal. But you got Winnipeg and you got Vancouver and Edmonton in the mix. And that's three big dogs. Like, that's a big deal.
Winnipeg's another team that's been good for a long time.
They've been
for a few years. They have been. I mean, even
they've been like this. They haven't really sunk down. They've been pretty steady.
No, they haven't been good in the playoffs.
They've been steady Eddie, and
but
no one talks about
they've been a very
them.
good regular season team for several years.
But if you're a Canadian hockey fan, like, you should feel pretty damn good at what's going on right now.
Yeah, because a few years back they had no playoff teams from Canada. Remember?
I know.
They didn't have any.
I know. All they do is bust their ass and go to games and
so
spend money on
this is great
hockey.
for Canada.
Good for you.
But
Good.
Vancouver,
It's gonna be Colorado.
they're going to need a couple years. They're not beating any of those teams I just mentioned, I don't think, in a 7-game series, man. You never know.
You never know. That's why I'm excited.
What
about Dallas, real quick?
I like Dallas too, man. They've been knocking at the door. So you get these teams that knock at the door. Sometimes, those are the teams
Rangers.
that finally get across the goal line.
Carolina.
Maybe, I don't know. Carolina.
I don't know what to think
how
of
many
them.
chances you going to get Carolina? I think it got
Just
to
as
the
many
conference
as
final last
the other
year.
teams that haven't made it. But Carolina won. They've won before.
Mm-hmm. Long time ago.
05. No, I know. I remember because I played in that.
06.
06, 05 or 6.
Yeah.
I played in every game in that series.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Andy Andy probably doesn't even believe me.
Did you play? I didn't know you played.
The whole time, yeah. And we swept the Rangers.
Did you
before that.
play?
See, he doesn't even believe me. So disrespectful.
Kidding.
I'm joking. I don't give a fuck. But anyway, a lot of good stuff going on, man. A lot of good stuff going on.
Nylander hasn't scored basically since he got that contract too. They got to get him going. I just wonder how. I wonder what the but Todd McClellan gets fired, but I just wonder Sheldon Keefe is he gonna make it through the rest of the regular season?
Yeah, I don't know.
When does the expiration date come up for a guy?
Close.
I will say this though.
Probably getting pretty close.
Because I kind of downplayed Craig Berube going to Toronto. I will say that I think he would coach in Toronto. I'm not going to predict that he's going to go to Toronto. Like, he's not going to L.A., for example. I don't see that. I don't see him going to the Western Conference. I don't see him going west. I think he wants to stay out east. I think the best job for him, I've said several times, would be New Jersey, just because I feel like they've got some real pieces you can build with, and I think he could help them move forward. And Toronto, I don't think the media and all that stuff, it would probably annoy him, but I think he could really handle it. I think he could probably control a lot of it too. And they'd pay him so much goddamn money. How could he not be interested?
Go get the bank, chief.
You know what I'm saying?
I want him to make it.
So how could he not be interested?
Yeah.
They'd pay him $5 million a year.
I know.
So I think New Jersey could pay him $5 million. I don't know if they will or if they would. Philly, if that becomes an option, how much money they're. I'm not saying it's all about the money, but it's always about the money.
Of course.
So
if you're gonna,
you can't just say, "Well, I'm not going to coach in Toronto." Okay, well, they're going to pay you $5 million. You give you a 5-year deal.
5-year deal. You goddamn right I will. I'll deal with the media.
Yeah.
And he's pretty damn good at. He's pretty. He'll give you. He says about his less words as possible when he does interviews, but if you really know his personality and whatnot, you get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good at just not deflecting, but just maybe it's a kind of a hostile question where he could play it pretty good just by kind of giving him a look yeah. And he calls guys out too, no, he wasn't good tonight. Mm-hmm. He doesn't tiptoe around things, but he doesn't say too much to where he gets in a jam. He's got a system down that works.
He keeps a pretty even keel too.
Yeah, he's cool.
He doesn't get all that would be different because the Canadian media in general, in terms of Toronto and all that, it's very high and low. They win a game, oh, they are. Yeah. If they lose a game, it's we're terrible. So
they try to get you too.
They do
with stuff. They might ask him a thing about stuff, something
so
that has nothing to do with hockey.
I think he'd bring some levity to it a little bit.
I told you I wanted to see him in Toronto. I told you for selfish reasons. Mm-hmm. I want him to be in the spotlight.
So I'm not making any prediction, and I hate sometimes talking about that because they have a coach who's in place. I'm not advocating that Sheldon Keefe get fired or whatever, but we all know at some point that day is going to come. And when you have good coaches available, sometimes it accelerates the decision-making process.
Yep. I tell you this, though.
Process.
I kind of want to, on a different, not talking about hockey, but Super Bowl's coming up this weekend, and even Canadians. Oh, you guys watch it. Watch the Super Bowl. It's the biggest thing going on. Hundreds of millions of people are watching it. Man, I want 49ers to win just to kind of stop the flow with the KC and just to put a halt to it. I like that Brock Purdy. I think he's cool as hell. I love Christian McCaffrey. Awesome guy. Takes hits, does his stuff. But I still love Patrick Mahomes.
George Kittle's
cool as shit. I still love Patrick Mahomes. I do.
His dad got arrested last night.
Know.
Poor guy. Patrick Mahomes Sr. Well, he's got a problem.
His dad? His dad acts so cocky.
I think
everybody. Poor Patrick.
His third DUI.
Poor Patrick Mahomes.
He's got to answer the questions.
He's just fucking the most important week, which is just not. You have to play it so cool during this week. I bet you people that work for the two different teams are going in we're doing meetings. This is what you say. Don't get cocky. Don't give them any fuel. So it's already stressful as hell. And Patrick Mahomes says the right thing every time. does the right thing every time. He kind of blew up at one game
Yeah,
where he threw
his family's crazy.
His family sucks.
Oh, poor guy.
I know.
He's gonna hear you say that.
Fuck that. I don't give a shit. Jackson, your brother he sucks. Now your dad. I remember
He's very talented.
I remember his dad played baseball, right? But when you're when you're a $500 million player and you're the most important athlete in probably the world right now, besides maybe some of the soccer guys, Patrick Mahomes is the biggest athlete in the world. And your dad walks around and smokes like cigars and acts like he's like the cool guy of the group. That's when you know you have a problem. And now he gets another D-dub. Like his whole
Super Bowl week.
Fucking Super Bowl week. God damn, man. Your son is so cool. He's doing
All he
so
needs
much.
you to do is just
stay
stay out of the
away.
way.
Get away. Shut up. And even his wife's been a lot better. They have a cool thing going. Like, I don't mind her and Taylor do. But remember, she was obnoxious, yelling at fans before, and Patrick had to be like, calm the fuck down. Jackson's dancing on Hall of Fame.
Very successful TikTok. Very good TikTok.
Forcing women to make out with him. Are you fucking kidding me?
Did he get
You
acquitted?
would like Jackson
Did he?
Mahomes.
No, I don't.
No, you would. No.
But I don't.
You would.
But
No,
I don't.
I know you don't. But don't
Did
even.
he get acquitted from that?
Yeah.
He did?
They probably paid her. It doesn't matter. But like everybody that's surrounded
causing
him,
issues for him.
causing issues.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. And I want them to lose because I like San Francisco. They've been awesome all year. But fuck me, dude. Your family. You gotta get control.
You gotta
of that,
get
man.
control.
It's hard to
You may
control
have to cut him off, dude.
It's hard to control your dad.
Because you know he's supporting all these guys
I
financially.
remember
probably.
seeing his dad like.
He may have to cut him off. You're not coming to the game.
No.
You can't come in the box. You
That's
can't stay in my
awful.
house. You're done.
But when I saw him, like, I want my parents in those moments to be like, I don't want a camera. This is about you. This is about Patrick. This is about my son, who's bringing all this. My mom and dad would be like, no, I don't want any attention. It's about my son. Or I could just tell, like, Patrick or his dad's like, after games, like, where's the camera? Let me smoke a cigar doing this. Jackson's all about the game. My brother didn't want nothing to do with anything.
You think Patrick Mahomes Sr. seeks for the attention that Jackson does?
Kind of. They're doing the same damn thing, including his wife, but his wife chilled out. So it's like when your family members are trying to
I don't think she chilled out. I think she became more likable.
She chilled out, dude. She was like throwing stuff on people. She was doing crazy stuff. Now she's chilled out because she probably got talking to. But when your family members
matured,
are okay,
matured,
she's fucking
they have kids.
30. Anyway, when your family members are louder than you, when you're the fucking big dog athlete, you got a problem. You got a problem.
No, that's a problem, and that should never be
Andy
the case.
loves Jackson.
No, I don't. He's TikToks, dude. Didn't he do a TikTok over somebody's like dead body or something?
Yeah. Like just stupid things. Like it's about him.
But why does Brittany always bring him along too?
Because they're probably good friends.
You
They
think
probably they're like
Brittany and
doing
Jackson are
TikToks together. They're probably friends. You know what I mean?
Well, they're from the same
like
hometown, White House, Texas.
They both look like Jack. And poor Patrick doesn't do anything stupid. He doesn't. Like he doesn't say stupid shit. He's respectful pretty much to everybody. Like I haven't seen much. Camera's always on him. But then your surrounding family are fucking embarrassing.
And he did an interview.
Embarrassing.
Patrick Mahomes Sr. did an interview on the field,
smoking a blunt.
but he's like shit faced.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
And like, where's the people around the family to be like, keep him away from the cameras?
I don't want my dad to want the camera.
Who's hammered and talking?
Shit. I want to hide my.
We want 3, we want 4, we want 5 Super Bowls.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Senior, settle down, Senior.
Calm down. It's just I just hate to see that.
He produced a hell of a quarterback.
Okay, good. Like did he? Maybe he did.
He was.
Maybe he
was.
He
was a professional baseball player.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
He was a pitcher.
Andy doesn't listen when I talk. He hopes like if Andy was here by himself, like that's his dream.
No. I told you I'm gonna have you on the couch.
Like have me over there. Like
Cam's my coach.
Andy wants me to sit over there and honestly laugh at all his jokes. And when he tells a story, I'm gonna be like, that was good. And laugh
welcome
at
to
him.
the Strick Podcast featuring Cam.
Yeah, he wants that. That'll be fun. But I just felt bad a little bit for him. You know what I mean? Felt bad for him a little bit.
Well, I feel bad for Patrick.
Patrick, yes.
Yeah. You don't feel bad for the senior.
Are you keeping up? No, I don't. Okay. Dude, he just seemed too loud, dude.
Well, so maybe this will like be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, but on Super Bowl week, the most stressful. They're already in Vegas.
So Taylor, when she won number 13 and 14 last night, Grammys.
Yeah, I saw it.
She did.
I didn't see it.
Had a wonderful speech. Oh, it was a great Grammys last night. Tracy Chapman sang with Luke Combs.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
That was cool.
That's kind of cool.
Billy Joel performed.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Celine Dion spoke. Who's dealing with stiffness syndrome.
Yep.
And she had to cancel her tour in 2024.
She's made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Miley Cyrus. Now I kind of like Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
She's just wild and kind of crazy and like kind of who she is. She
Kinda
reminds
dirty
me
a
of a
little bit.
superstar from like the 90s and 80s back in the day. She's like a throwback, dude.
She's done a lot, man.
And that's her first Grammy that she's ever won.
I don't mind her.
That rapper got
it is Miley Cyrus.
that rapper got arrested.
Yeah. Killer Mike or something?
Killer Mike, dude.
Yeah.
Apparently he had a run-in with a security guard. They're calling it a citizen's arrest.
Did he try to fight someone in the stands?
It was a security that was in his way, and he kind of like pushed him, I guess, but there's video surveillance, but it's not showing him putting his hand. Did they really need to arrest him there?
I don't know.
For like that level of a misdemeanor?
It's probably good for his career.
You think?
Well, we're talking about it.
Yeah, because he won 3 Grammys last night, and we would not be talking about Killer Mike.
I wouldn't even give a shit.
I can't even tell you one song
Not
from
one.
Killer Mike.
Not one.
Now, you could play one, I probably would recognize it.
Maybe.
In fact, I'd probably be able to rap with it.
Probably.
Because you've heard me.
Well, he probably wants you rapping with him.
Dude, I
As a
used to think, and people used to think, that I was going to be a professional like rapper back in the day. Like I honestly thought I had the ability to do
So
it.
Andy would grow up, and when he was in high school, him and his buddies would be in like a white BMW convertible. Him and his little like the nerdy buddies, and they'd be hanging out, listening to gangster rap with everything down, loud as hell. Like I could see you.
Who had the white BMW?
Your buddy, I'm sure.
No one had a white BMW.
And then like you guys are just jamming out the
I went to
hardcore
public
rap,
school.
like,
I went to
yeah,
I went to public
and
school.
then you roll up and you look over like you just drive by.
I used to freestyle. Like you've heard me freestyle a little bit.
Pretty good.
Really?
Pretty dang good.
Oh, you're being serious?
Yeah.
Like I can look in the camera and like tell him.
It's actually pretty good, to be honest with you. I chirp him a lot, but like he was doing his radio show, and I had my producer producing his radio show.
It was no. It was mine that I loaned to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
And
then you guys got him fired, and now my guy's gone.
Nate. It was Nate.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Okay. Settle down.
Andy's
He's like my producer. He's got one show a week. It doesn't matter. But Andy would be so funny, and he didn't even know he was being recorded. And before his show, to get warmed up, he'd start rapping and doing this and being. And he didn't know he was recorded, so I had my producer record everything, and we play it for drops throughout the show. And it's actually people text into our show and be like, "Get Andy drops going now." I'll give you it's a compliment.
I'll get a new one coming soon. After I have a blue moon, when it's in the afternoon, say to my girl that I'll see you soon, but I gots to go. You're a goon. I'm a skilled player. Don't be a hater. Don't be a naysayer. Be one of 31 flavor, because you know I'm all the flavors, girl. You know me.
Oh, good God. That was good for a while.
Maddie.
Clip that off, actually. That was pretty good. Pretty dang good. Dang good.
High noon cartoon.
It's enough.
Sucking
So
on
you always have
helium balloon.
You belabor stuff. It's good. Just don't do it anymore.
Don't do it again.
Yeah, it's all good. Or maybe do it once a show. Like a little
Okay.
quick hit. Like a little
A
quick
show,
rap, yeah.
you know I can flow. I
Yeah.
go from 0 to 60 like you know. Driving a
All right,
Volvo.
that's enough. That's enough.
Oh my
That
God.
is enough. That is enough.
Give me another topic.
Huh?
Give me another topic and what? And we'll just. Actually, I should probably stop now.
Well, how much time we got right here?
We got lots of time.
What do we talk about today?
Don't be a
Just all
Seth.
that.
Don't be a ref.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be going to see your girl with bad breath.
this is like there's not much going. This is like a dead period for sports.
Do you
right
know
now.
that this is the one weekend where there's no sports on?
No,
This
it's
past
not the
week-
only
No,
one.
this past weekend.
Yeah, but there's
It's the only weekend, I think.
no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. it
There's
is.
one in the summertime. It's called the MLB All-Star break. That's
But
it.
they have the ESPYs.
Wait, what?
They have the ESPYs that weekend.
There's no sports on.
The ESPYs are on.
Who cares about that?
And the Grammys were on last night.
I know you love that shit. No, I no. This is the worst week, and then the week in summer with the MLB All-Star Game.
Yeah.
The couple days after.
Now,
that, there's
listen,
nothing on.
I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I'll get into the Four Nations. And I'm excited about the Four Nations. I just want to see Pasta and Cooch.
So do I. I think a lot of people do.
But nobody's thinking like that. They're like, we got best on best. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
The Olympics may present
close.
best on best, but just have the All-Star game next year.
Well, if Russia's not in the Olympics, then that's not the best.
Oh,
on
they'll
best
be
either.
in there.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You talked to
I
Gary?
talked to some people, and that will happen. The IIHF, by that time, in 2026, they already kept them out of one Olympics, right, or whatever it was. the World Juniors and all that. They're going to get him back in.
Yeah. Now,
but dude, they pay fees to the NHLPA. How could the NHLPA allow this?
I don't know. I don't want
to go too overboard, but it's like,
it's not fair to players.
Like,
you think
they come over here like, and I know they make a lot of money, and it's the best. It's changed their life.
They're making
St.
Louis City economy's money too.
Yeah,
like Alex Ovechkin's bringing money into Washington D.C. Not that they need anymore, because of course they have all the shady politician money down there. But like a lot of these guys, man, are bringing a lot of attention to a lot of towns. And
would you trade Ovi?
Fuck, man.
If you're Washington, would you trade Ovi?
For what? What are you going to get for him right now?
If you're Washington,
what are you going to get for
trade
him? Why would you do that? To get what? What are you going to get from Ovi? He's fucking 39 years old, 38 years old, slowing down big time.
Well, somebody would get like,
you know.
First off, I'm sure he would have 100% say if he's getting moved.
It is funny though,
and he would decide where he goes. But like, what you would get is a packed house every single night, and jersey sales, and ticket sales, and merchandise.
Well, what team needs that right now?
I'm just saying. That's what you said. What you would get.
But what? Okay, you get jersey sales.
And
like
if I'm him, and you really want the record, if you're not worried about the record, and he may not be, then just stay there. But if you want the record, man, you may need to go somewhere and play with better players, dude.
Better players?
Oh God!
So who's going to take on that?
They're kind of an aging cast.
No shit.
In Washington.
No. I know. I get what you're saying.
I'm watching them play.
What good team is going to pick up Ovi?
Back-to-back games this past. He's not surrounded by a ton of talent.
What good team is going to pick up Ovi? What team that's in the mix that has high talent,
okay,
more talent?
Let me ask you this.
No. I'm asking you a question.
Let me ask you this.
No. Why you do that?
Because I'm going to rephrase the question for you.
No, I don't want you to. Like, what's going on here? Listen, what team would pick up his contract and deal with that? That's competitive right now.
Okay, let me ask you this: if you're Washington and Ovi came to you and said, "I want to get traded to a contender," would you trade him?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we got through that part. If you're a contending team, would you add Alex Ovechkin?
No.
You don't think he could help you?
The way he's playing right now, no.
Well, he's got like 11 points in his last 11 games, something like that. He's putting up points now.
Oh, he looks slow, dude.
I think he's on pace for over 280 shots. It's not like hold on. It's not like he's not getting shots on goal. His shooting percentage is
making
way
$9
down.
million. They're gonna have to be some.
His shooting percentage, he's making more than that, isn't he?
He's making $9 million, 9.5 million. Look it up. You want to bet on it?
I thought he was making in the tens, but
I thought he signed $9 million ADD.
Okay,
who's got room? And where are you going to put him?
Nobody has room.
What big-time team that's successful right now, top two lines, that would take out a guy and put Ovi in there?
I'm just asking.
I asked you a question first, and you didn't answer, and you asked me a question, and I got to ask
I'm
you.
just asking. But if he wants,
I would say
if
no.
he wants to break Gretzky's record,
I say you go to a shitty team. That's what you're going to do. You go to a shitty team and just get more ice time.
He's ready on a shitty team.
Okay.
I mean, they're not overly shitty.
Then don't go anywhere.
They're like average shitty.
There's not going to be a competitive team right now.
They're not even shitty. I don't want to upset the Caps fans.
No, they're still in the mix, aren't they?
They're in the mix, dude.
They're in the mix a little bit. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like if I'm Ovi, like I'm going to live and die in Washington.
Okay.
Like if I'm him,
you won't break the record though.
You might get hot. You need your boy Backstrom.
Ovi's at 9.5.
Yeah, I told you. So
for how many more years?
So is Dallas going to get him?
3 more years.
Colorado going to get him? God, who's going to get him?
I don't know.
Nobody.
I bet you this guy. I think he still has a lot of goals left, man. I think he needs to be in a different situation.
But okay, like he's slow, dude.
He is.
I don't give a
shit.
I
see him start
and
from
who do you think he's going to play with? Connor McDavid? It's not going to happen. So he's going to probably play in Anaheim. You know what I mean?
Well, he's not doing that.
Well, okay, whatever then. So he's not going anywhere.
If you're someone going to a bad team or an average team, like he might as well just stay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to go to a competitive team. Why would you risk that?
But if you're the owner of Washington, are you saying no? He's never playing for any other team in the league.
If I'm the goddamn right, that's our boy, man. He got us where we're at.
But if you also want to see him get the record,
I just play him. I would say you'd probably get more attention.
When? At what point do you?
Oh, it depends.
Does he become a hindrance?
It's starting to happen a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Where it's like,
look,
okay, we got to force the puck over to Ovi, although they're not
doing that on a power play at all.
No.
They're finding Oshie.
Although his last goal, though, was to Oshie, I think, but Oshie missed it, and it went right to Ovi.
I think even Ovi, if you watch him, like sometimes it'll pop up, I'll watch Ovi, and like, he's not even trying to be selfish. Like, he's passing on power plays and stuff like that. So,
I will say, when they were, I saw him in the dressing room.
That game,
and I was the only one in there with Osh. We did an interview, and the room everybody was cleared out. And he walked through there. He seemed to be in great spirits and like happy.
Dude, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. That's why I love him, dude. That's why I want him
to
break.
He's like laughing.
Like, I love Gretzky, man. There's not one person that said anything bad about that man, Wayne Gretzky. But like Ovi, dude, if you talk to people, they love him.
They love
everybody we've ever interviewed. Ever. They're like, oh my God, Cam, you would love that guy. And I'm like, it's just genuine. You know, when you talk to somebody in the hockey world and you're like, hey, how's this guy? Yeah, he's different, but he's a good guy. I'm like, okay. But when they're like, oh God, Cam, you would love him. Like, you just know. And that guy is special. I wouldn't trade him. Just let him do his thing. And even if you're not that good and like he's on pace to kind of get something, like there's going to be a lot of media attention anyway. But I don't know, man. I don't want him going anywhere. But if you think he's going to go to a competitive team, who the fuck is going to take that on?
Hey, Taylor's going to make it back for the Super Bowl.
And do that's why I kind of.
She's not doing a concert.
No, but she's like releasing her album, a new album. But you know, like again, we talked about this last week with about the Taylor situation. Like, it's going to turn. Like, if I'm Travis Kelce, and you have all this stuff going on, and when this Super Bowl's over, and you have all your buddies and stuff like that, and you're like, oh God, let's go. She might be like, you're coming with me.
We talked about that last time.
I know.
But I will say, watching her like arms are flying everywhere. She's like shaking her Purdue when she won.
Well, when you're that big.
I know.
But when you're that big, you know the camera's on you every second. So it's just like if we went on stage and stuff like that, like we're doing extra things. Like we're like,
I just think he might be watching and be like, okay.
What am I doing?
Like, I don't know. This is
not to mention like I'm getting DMs from hot ass girls.
Now I got to go to like Singapore now when I just like want to chill and
and with her group of people, which I'm sure they're really fun to hang out with. You know,
it just seems like
I'm sure Travis is having a good conversation with her producer.
There's a great special right now on Hulu. I watch my 10-year-old daughter is really into
little Ivy.
Oh, she loves Taylor Swift.
Good.
Those are the age. Yeah. Although I'm like, you know what? I told her last night. I said, Ivy, I'll take you to a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, that.
Because I hung out with Taylor Swift's cousin a few weeks ago, and he told me I did. No, I did. A few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's not the first time, so hopefully he's listening.
I'm sure they're related by blood.
Cousins.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I bet. But take little Ivy.
No.
That'd be awesome.
So he said to me, "I can't get you free tickets, but I can get you face value."
That's fine.
So I look up. They're coming to Indianapolis, which is like the closest place they're coming to. Next, Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil. Indianapolis is easy to get to from St. Louis.
So next October.
Do that. That's cool.
I look up to see the tickets. Guess how much do you think they are?
God, $1,000.
Like 1,700, dude.
Yeah, for just up
for like.
I know.
Like what?
But if you listen, I chirp Andy a lot. He brags about going to Cape Cod and like he's a fucking longshoreman. He brags about seeing a fucking bear when he's at the resort club and everybody's hanging out with their grandma and walking. But if you spent the money and took little cute Ivy, who loves Taylor Swift, and you had a little daddy-daughter road trip to Lucas Oil.
Oh, Laurie would have to come.
Okay, or even take oh God. That's
and then Chloe's going like, okay, well, I want to go.
I
Although
know.
Chloe wants to go see Drake instead.
Okay, but if you did that, Andy, I'd be like, good for you.
Oh,
but
really?
maybe you and Ivy go. And it's not that expensive. And like, this is me and you, our time. I go with Ty everywhere. I see Chloe. Like, take little Ivy.
So
there. I think that'd be so.
The more
cute,
I see Taylor, and so I watched the special on Hulu with her and Travis Kelce last night.
I know you did.
And the more I see her, I can't picture her performing. So for the first time last night, I went to YouTube with Ivy. I'm like, let's watch some of her.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's watch. I want to see
Put it on the big screen
because they're watching the Grammys and stuff like that. And she gets after it on stage.
She's fucking damn good.
And not long ago, she was very attractive, dude. Like, no, not long.
Wait, not long ago. So
like she had a different hairdo.
I think she's sexy now.
You do. Her hair's kind of like very.
She's a woman. She was a kid back in the day.
Let me give you some examples.
I like when she's a woman now. And I told you,
Does that make us sound bad? Because I'm not saying
Jesus, you're fine. Good God, I talk about fucking all kinds of shit.
I'm not saying she's not attractive.
There's so many things that we don't post, just so all y'all know, that I say that I'm truthful on. But if we post it, God, we'll get bashed on Twitter. So I'm just like, we just keep it in the pod.
So this is her now. Like,
I think she looks pretty dang good
great.
now. I think
she looks great. So let me show you like an old school. This is like old.
Yeah, that's like a child.
Okay,
she looks like a child.
But like this is now.
Yeah, I think she looks sexier now.
Okay, so this is now. She's got some like
she's not the
hair stuff going on. But let me show you like a.
I've seen the pictures.
No,
I don't need to
show
see
you like an old school one.
I don't care.
I do it every day, but I need a payday. Any way we go, the direction, the inflection, my lyrics will create an infection, but it's perfection.
I don't want an infection.
What? I'm the number one selection. Here we go.
God, Lil Andy.
So. My rap name back in the day was Scotch Guard in high school. MC Scotch Guard, they used to call me back in the day.
That's cool. Girls probably like that.
But they loved it. They loved it.
They're like, "Where's Andy?
Like
party's Andy at tonight?"
Dude, we just go to like a random party and just put on a concert.
How many do you think you have? How many
kills?
How many kills you have? Are you like Wilt? Are you like Wilt Chamberlain?
I probably make Wilt look a little.
That's a
I don't want to disrespect.
Just so everybody knows.
You think Wilt's lying? What do you say? 10,000?
20,000. Wilt Chamberlain is lying about 20,000.
Of course he is.
It is so hard to do to wheel a new girl every single day without social media. Mm-hmm. Are you out of your damn mind? That is so difficult to do.
I would
and you
say
have to have the right spot. You got to go here. Not even close.
Mm-hmm. No, I would say
that is a lie.
He's probly had fewer than
1,000 or 2. That's a lot. That's a lot of women.
1,000?
You probably maybe even 4,000 or 5,000. Like Ric Flair said, 5,000. Maybe.
You think Ric Flair's had 5,000?
He's been wheeling chicks a long time, dude. So it's really hard. Not to, like you could be the best looking guy, but in order to go a random place and take a woman that already has probably things to do that night. Some don't, but a lot of them do, and just wheel them, boom, and then do another one that night. Just go find a place real quick, bang them out, and then come back. And then the next night, you're finding another new girl and taking her somewhere. Like, it's difficult. Even if she wanted to do it, she's like, I got shit to do. I got this, I got that. Like, it's just ridiculous to think that way.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to think that way.
He's,
but how many do you say you have? You think?
How many did Wilt have?
No, you.
Oh, well, how many did he have? He had 20,000?
20,000.
Probably somewhere in that range.
But I know guys I play with that have 400 kills. That's a ton. You know what I mean? I know guys that they had to find sex no matter what.
Yeah, sex addiction. It's like Tiger Woods.
They had to do it between, your pregame skate and the game. Like they couldn't. It's like having a drug addiction. Like I gotta get my fix, and instead of just like doing it yourself, like they had to have a woman's touch. But they didn't fall in love. They never loved anybody. But they loved. They had to have that satisfaction.
Do you think
I
Taylor?
Think it makes you depressed.
You think Taylor loves Travis? Like you think she could?
Looks genuine? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, for her, listen, he went all the way to Argentina, and she changed the lyrics in the song.
Sure, he was like,
she changed the lyrics in one of her songs.
That's cute
for him.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I think it's kind of cool. I just think that he's going to be like, I have my own life, and when you date a woman that's
and he's like singing. No, he's like he's been popular and single. So to go from popular
to
now, you don't have that flexibility.
Follow me and my crew. And you're not like sitting there talking about sports and stuff. Like who knows?
She said last night in one of her acceptance speeches, Cam, I forgot if it was,
don't waste people's
if it was her 13th Grammy or her 14th Grammy. And 13 is her lucky number, do you know that, because Jay-Z had he accepted an award last night too. His wife.
Did he complain about something again?
Well, his wife is
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yes.
Do you know she is the all-time record holder? She's like the Gretzky of Grammys.
Yeah,
no one's won more Grammys, and she's never won Album of the Year.
Okay.
How do you win the most Grammys, but you've never won Album of the Year?
Racism.
This is maybe. This is Taylor Swift's fourth Album of the Year award.
They're both America's princesses. They are. In the black community, Beyonce is the Taylor Swift of the white community, and there's a lot.
There's a lot of crossover.
There's a ton of crossover, but. Do I think
why is
we should shun
why
Beyonce?
Is Taylor so revered in the with the adolescent community? They got the bracelets going. Like the teeny boppers love her.
Because she's good at marketing. Like, how can you not? Like, she's a pretty girl that sings dang good music, and she goes on stage and she's really, really good.
I gotta watch. I gotta watch more.
Just like
of her
Lady
concerts.
Gaga was awesome too, dude. I went to Lady Gaga concerts.
You know, I did
she was.
too.
I know you did.
I got it from
God,
my
you're
wife.
a one-upper, man. You are the biggest. It's
It was at
unbelievable.
Enterprise Center.
I'm trying
Did
say
you go
it
to that one?
You're asking me questions and you cut me off. But Lady Gaga was gigantic too. She was unique in her own way. She's got her little monsters and like all those.
Yes.
They all have a cult following, but hers is the biggest of the big. Beyonce's right there too. They all both. get enough
Beyonce could
attention.
go on a worldwide tour and sell it out everywhere.
Big time, of course,
But why are the tickets $1,700?
because of that reason.
Because of the demand.
Yeah, Andy.
So
course.
she's making, because I watched the special on Hulu.
Yeah.
She's making hundreds of millions of dollars off of this Era tour only. And dude, let me tell you this. This is where I got to give Taylor some serious credit. It is not easy to perform as often as she's going to perform on these upcoming tours. Any rock star that has to perform 4 shows in 4 nights,
baby.
dude.
Hardcore.
They're traveling from one place to the next.
The
They're
nicest
going
travel
all
possible, but no,
I get it.
hardcore, dude.
All over the world, and they
Hardcore.
got to go out there and perform. Their voice has to be, because I lose my voice. You know, I emceed the red carpet a few years back for the All-Star Game, and I lost my voice for 3 months, Cam.
It's tough.
Okay.
You get a tough gig, dude.
So,
You're just like Taylor.
So I don't know how. I got to talk to Taylor to see how
No,
she's.
I agree with you.
Saving her voice, but dude, one hop to the next, and they got to put on a 3-4 hour show every night, dude.
with a lot of different things that have to go
30
on.
shows in 45 days or something crazy.
I think it's like 60 and 80.
Whatever.
No, it's hardcore. And no, you got that. You tip the cap to all those.
Tip of the cap.
If you look at even comedians' schedule, they'll post it on social media every other night. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you trying to be on every night. And then you got that dipshit heckler who's woke, and he's like, I don't like this. And you're like, what are you doing here
You see
then?
Lisa Ann got arrested?
Lisa, the porno?
Yeah.
The porno? Oh, how? D-Dub?
No, she.
What'd she do?
So who's
Wow,
the?
Andy, I didn't know
Yeah.
this.
It's all
She's
over.
friend of guys we know. Like
I know.
Here, and
So
they do business
and
together.
yeah, I know Lisa. So she
Wait.
she was at a comedy show. Matt Fife.
Yeah, the handsome guy.
Matt
Yeah,
Fife. 'Cause
yeah.
it's Fife. I just turned.
Yep.
Do I have the first name
Yep,
right?
the handsome kid.
So I guess it's illegal to use your phone at a lot of these shows.
Yep.
You can't use your
No,
phone.
because you're copyrighting what they're
They don't want their jokes out there
No.
on YouTube. They don't want.
until they put their special out.
You know, sometimes
Yep.
they say some shit like that. Is offensive. Or,
They don't give a fuck,
Okay.
and they shouldn't. But go ahead.
Well, apparently, Matt, he's made a comment about domestic violence, and people are all upset about it.
I saw that. It's so kids
Oh,
of
did you
shit.
see that?
So dumb. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so anyway, she gets dragged out of the show in handcuffs, and there's
Really?
cameras all over her.
She's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. So what happened?
I'm
though?
going to show you. So
No, don't show me. Tell the
she-
people that are
so
listening.
she says, well, they took her to jail
For what?
for using her phone, and she's saying she didn't use her phone.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know a woman that owns a company.
Nothing wrong. I didn't touch
Oh.
his phone. I wanted to see Matt right because he's a friend of mine.
Oh, really? He's a friend of yours, huh? Wow, that sucks.
Nothing wrong. I didn't
She comes to St. Louis all the time for golf tournaments and stuff like that.
She looks great.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that we seen it enough.
So, okay, in case you didn't see,
But damn. So she was.
I didn't touch my phone.
Yeah, they see it.
Matt Rife, I said Fife.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's all good. But yeah, no, that's
What do you think of that?
you shouldn't film. And like I know I
She
told
said she wasn't,
Hold
and
on.
she's very good friends with him.
Very good. So anyway, I know a woman that owns a company that hires out people to go into movie theaters and make sure that they don't film the movie. And yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and you'll get arrested there too. They could, yes.
That's
yeah.
illegal to
Yeah.
film the movie
Yeah.
on your phone?
Yeah.
They do that for a job?
Yeah. My brother did. Made money.
Really?
Yes.
I think you'd be like a good bounty hunter.
I'm not going in there and doing that.
Would you be a bounty hunter
Back in the day or right now?
right now?
Back in the day in the cowboy days? Probably.
What do you mean the cowboy days?
Back whenever the bounty hunter situation
Yeah, but you
was
weren't
like,
alive.
I got to
back
go to.
then.
Okay, I know.
I,
but
I'm talking like
right
now.
now?
Would you specifically?
No.
Could you be one?
I don't want to go into shady situations and get shot at.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be a repo guy either. I wouldn't want to go down to Narth County and
Narth.
repo cars when all those guys are in there like waiting to shoot you. Like I ain't doing that. Or a FedEx guy that has to go down to hardcore areas. they're getting robbed all the time. You know what I mean? The FedEx guy that has to drop off shit, they get gang, boom, they come right in, rob everything. It's, you know.
So I want to ask the audience a question. Would you watch and listen if we did a daily show?
An hour-long show, because we go for a long time, and you know, maybe we'll cut off some of the bullshit storytelling, which we probably should do anyway, but we give you three hours of content now, and we could divvy that up all year or all week, and we post as much as possible.
Like 4 days, 4 or 5 days.
But a lot of
week.
shit we can't post because we say kind of crazy things, and we don't want the mob getting me more than anything. So we got to be cognizant of that. So a lot of the internal funny stuff's in the pod, but I would do an hour long, like a radio show kind of thing in here, but it's a podcast and we can say what we want.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would like more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd still do our one interview a week
Yeah.
and post that and the clips of that. But Andy and I every day.
The content wouldn't change, dude.
I know, and there's always something. We do radio every damn day. Like we do 3 hours of it. Like it's a lot, you know, and there's a lot to talk about. So I don't know, whatever you guys want to do. People are texting me too about like, hey, is there any way we can get questions answered?
Yeah. Well,
you
they
know,
got to send
I love
them
that.
to me.
I would love,
send them to me.
send them. We'll send
them to the Cam Strick,
yes,
account
like
on
here,
Instagram.
and even if they're they could be 2-part, one serious, one goofy question, and we'll answer everything.
Yeah.
I will.
Me too.
Andy will probably tiptoe around some things but I'll answer
may-
whatever you ask me.
And further, I may do it in a rap.
in a rap, that'd be really cool. It's gonna
But
help.
but I'm saying we would answer the questions.
We'll answer anything, whatever you guys come up with. You
Yeah.
just give us ideas of whatever you guys want to do, and we'll go from there. We got this badass studio. You know, we got to take advantage of it as much as possible. West Coast Studios, baby. Yeah, what's up?
West Coast, baby.
Go, Andy. Go.
Half Coast.
Oh, yeah, half coast, West Coast. What's up? I don't know
Cam's
why
calling
I
it
was
West Coast.
I was thinking of
Half Coast Studios.
Tupac, who
You know,
died
they
in 96.
found the guy who did it.
I don't know if that's true, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they had him,
No,
and then they let him go.
I'm kind of in
You're
that
probably friends with-
community.
Because you were there in 96. Andy's like the one-up story.
Hey, I can't wait for that Bob Marley documentary that's coming out.
My
Although I've
buddy's
seen a
my
lot
buddy's
of those.
part of the directing process. I met in Jersey when I played there.
Directing process? What
Yes.
does that even mean?
He told me about this thing 10 years ago.
Well, there's been several of them. I've seen a lot of these, so I don't know if this one's going to be any different than
it could be
the other ones
maybe
that are
something
out
different.
there.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, Bob Marley's cool.
Oh, dude, really cool.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. That's all good. Get your mind right. Watch Bob
Bieber.
Marley. God dang
Bieber
right.
was still smiling. His smile with Clayton Keller. Keller's cool as shit
Yeah,
too,
he is,
by the
dude.
way.
I
I
gave
want to
him a
give
shout
my
out
boy
today.
Clayton
Yeah,
Keller.
he
a
looked good.
shout out.
He looked good too.
He
was
looks
cruising
great.
around. He had a good
He's
line.
just an all-star, man. He
Who's he with?
belongs there. He's
He-
playing with Matthews.
Matthews and was it Marnie? Was it Mitchie? Or was it?
no,
I thought it
Marnie
was like
was-
somebody from Florida. Maybe.
Marnie was playing.
Reinhardt or something.
Um,
I forgot. It's all good. But I
no,
remember-
Reinhardt. That's who Robert Thomas was playing with.
Okay.
Robert Thomas had a couple goose eggs. Poor guy.
I-
Not even an assist in the
I
two
know.
games.
Yeah, I
he
don't
was
think
a
he was
shooter. He was shooting a lot.
Yeah, but like,
But it was cool that he was there, man. It's not about the points. It's an all-star game.
yeah, but like Clayton looked flashy.
He's just
He looked
flashy.
really. That was like perfect for him, dude. He's
Yeah.
doing
Oh,
crazy
and
stuff.
he and Matthews,
They looked awesome.
they played together at the program.
Yeah. See, that's what I like
And,
watching. I like 3-on-3,
and Clayton
man.
Keller, before he moved into his, like his pimped out
side
crib
mountain.
that he has with a golf course on it or
Damn
whatever.
right, Clayton, dude.
He was living in Austin Matthews' house.
I know.
See, I think Matthews is cool, dude.
Yeah, I like him.
And Marner's cool too.
Matthews went up to Bieber one time, and this is kind of a funny clip if you want to catch this one. But they're in the locker room, and Bieber's sitting down talking to everybody, and Matthews had his gitch on, his little
Yeah.
tidy gitch on, and he goes up and he acts like he's getting something out of the top shelf where Bieber's sitting. He put his crotch right in Bieber's face. That's a classic. Old school guys used to do that to all of us, man. That was pretty cool. And Bieber's like, get the fuck out of here. I like it. That's why I like Bieber, dude. He's in the locker room, hanging with the
He's
guys,
with the boys.
Screw that, man. I'm not making fun of him. His outfits are kind of goofy.
No,
I'm just being honest with the folk. But he's cool as shit, and he's probably fun to party with. And he's hanging out with all those guys. He's in the
And
locker
he
room.
doesn't give a fuck.
He
And
doesn't
he's
give a
got
fuck.
more money than all of them.
He doesn't give a fuck, dude. And he's skating around like Andy, ripping pucks, doing this, stealing pucks from everybody. I like him. I like Justin Bieber, dude. Just because of
I
his
think
music,
The
but I
NHL
like
should
him.
allow like local people to like take warm up with the team once or twice.
Yeah, but that just convolutes what you're looking at. You don't want to look at somebody like you when you can see Bieber and is there anybody else that's a celebrity that doesn't play hockey that can play hockey Put him out
Michael
there.
Bublé, what's his story?
I don't know.
Does
was
he sing
funny
like
there?
Christmas music?
Was he?
Or I didn't really see him.
Well, he does like he does Christmas stuff, and he's talented. I don't know his music
Yeah,
that
he
much.
is.
I'm not a fan, but I respect him. But like I heard his press conference, and he's talking about microdosing.
Yeah,
was
he
that
did.
funny? I
No,
couldn't.
was that Will Arnett or was that Bublé?
No, that was Bublé.
Oh, yeah.
Was he funny there?
And he wasn't even being serious.
The one thing I listened to was like it kind of was confusing. But at least he
But
wasn't.
everyone
like
was like, "Oh, that's amazing!"
Well, it's funny.
He
Like,
said he was doing much. I was like, "Okay," but he wasn't being serious and
I
he
don't know.
wasn't being funny.
at least he's different, dude. At least he's not.
Yeah.
At least he's not a robot up there. Like things. I like hockey.
Can you show
things
me?
are good.
Can you show me an
We
impression of Jim Montgomery behind the bench after his team scored? Like, oh my God,
I like
Monty.
it though.
He was
and
loving
his
it.
son's right there.
I know it.
So if my kid was, who are you kidding? Little Ty was right there, and you're on the
It'd
bench.
be
I want you to
amazing.
be that way.
Hey, I want to give
if
a
you
shout
weren't,
out.
I'd be like, you're acting too cool for
I
school.
want to give a shout out to the 2010 AAA Blues here
Saw
in
that.
town because they just won the Florida Exposure
Saw
Cup.
it.
You had a lot of good teams that were there, and they're I think ranked 8th in the country right now.
Can I give a shout out to one of my
Derek
little cousin,
Moore, dude.
little Kellen Moore, baby,
Yeah,
little shite kicker.
his kid Kellen.
He's got that blood.
Yeah.
He's got that blood.
Was
He hits
his
guys.
dad a player?
No,
Okay.
but his mom is she's a Jansen. She's
Oh.
my dad's
Dude,
sister's
I met
daughter.
this other guy
Yeah,
who came up to me
he's got the Jansen blood,
at
baby.
like a restaurant or something, and he told me he's Kate's cousin with his son.
Oh, really?
And they saw you a few months ago, maybe.
Okay.
He was telling
Yeah,
me.
people don't care about
She's got,
that.
she's
Like,
got a big family, dude.
yeah, Kate does.
A lot of
Yeah.
cousins.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I don't have to go to all their stuff and stuff.
Dude, so Mike Liute is a former Blues goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a big-time agent,
Yep.
represents Bennington, Draisaitl, Line, all these
How
guys.
much money do you think he makes a year?
Dude.
No, seriously, as an agent. And if your kids aren't, if you have smart kids, but you want to be in hockey, that's an awesome. You got to go to school. You got to do your stuff.
Law
your
school.
law
He
school,
worked
you
for
gotta
the
get-
PA. He did a lot of
But
shit.
if
dude.
you can become an agent and have a little, just start slow, pick guys off, do your thing. People respect you. You know the game.
Yeah.
You're willing to be sweet.
Dude,
Like my agent was.
He was like a goalie for Canada in the Canada
yeah,
Cup,
like,
dude.
it'd be
He's
a
like
cool gig.
he finished second in the Hart Trophy voting 1 year behind Gretzky, dude.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like he's fucking like legit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's just too old for
So,
us to really.
no, but
Yeah.
he was in town because he went into the Blues Hall of Fame. So, and I've known Mike for a long time, and I was up in the owner's box throughout the game doing all the interviews up there and hanging out with him and whatever. But I had to go do this thing with Pronger, Chris Pronger, who was getting honored by Peterborough, by the way. That looked cool,
Yeah, I
man.
saw that. Prongs,
Big
little
shout out to
baby.
Peterborough,
God dang right.
recognizing
God dang right.
maybe the greatest defenseman I've ever.
How do you not recognize
I've
him
ever-
earlier? Oh, God.
How you not recognize who?
Him earlier, but
I don't know.
yeah, maybe it takes time.
Maybe
and Peterborough has,
they asked him like several
maybe.
times, and he was
Yeah,
like,
I didn't mean to
"No,
be like, I don't wanna chirp
Maybe he was
Peterborough.
like, I can't make it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And he's like, well, now I have a whiskey, so I'm gonna.
I'm gonna go out there and show my face off.
No,
we might have to
man,
get him back on
he
the
did-
podcast. too.
Chris Pronger, I think he's the greatest defenseman I've ever covered.
Andy, if you had to do now, all you guys, if you had to do
Mhm.
your top six, and we don't need to go all the way back. Who are they? Your top 6 defensemen ever. If you could put them together, what would they be? Woo!
Top
What?
6.
I got my first 2 right off the bat.
I mean, I would say Bobby Orr, right?
okay.
Okay.
And who's he teamed up with?
Lidstrom.
2 lefties.
Okay.
You're not going to put a Larry
Just
Robinson
hang
on that mug?
Just hang on.
Okay. my bad.
Top 6 of all time.
Yep.
Because I'm putting Pronger in there.
Me too.
I'm putting Paul Coffey in there.
Okay.
I'm putting Cale Makar maybe in there too, dude. When it's all said and
But
done,
who's teamed up with who? Like who?
I don't know. Just,
Yeah,
put,
all
just
right.
put 6 guys out
I
there.
s-
Pronger can play as offside, actually.
I know he can.
So, he's one of those guys who could do it. Ray Bourque is a guy that I would have a hard time leaving off.
He's pretty dang good.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's another guy I would have a hard time. It's Chara.
Chara.
Imagine teaming up Chara and Larry Robinson. You got a lefty, you got a righty.
Yeah, they may be on
Who's
the...
gonna, and then you got Pronger
Mhm.
and maybe a righty who could be a good, like a Cale Makar in the second.
Yeah, Al
Come
MacInnis.
on, Al. Big Al, baby.
Al
Give me those
MacInnis.
shout out. We want to get you on a pod too. We love you.
My son was
Could
like
you imagine?
reading this book about NHL legends,
Good.
and he tells me about who he reads about. Like kind of at night, he'll tell me a story about a different player.
Yeah.
So I'll record him occasionally, like when he tells me like about Patrick Waugh or something like that. It's really cool,
That's
man.
cool.
Yeah. So his story the other day was about Al MacInnis. And so I actually sent it to Al because I'm like, dude, I didn't know like which player he was going to be telling me about. So he was like,
in that video there was Al MacInnis, and he was he broke the glass with his powerful shot. And
You got dang right.
He did it multiple times. Well, yeah, he did it multiple times because in the video they showed a picture and they showed videos of him doing it multiple times.
what do you do?
He broke the glass.
He broke the
With his
glass,
powerful
Andy.
shot.
With his powerful shot.
I like that was cute.
Yeah.
That was cute.
I don't mean to waste your time with that. We can
No,
even take that out. if
you're
you want
wasting
me
their
to.
time. I
Well,
like it, but they are not connected with your kids like I am.
Yeah, I know.
So
I
don't
know.
waste their time. It's fine.
So
Just-
Cam,
you got to think of them.
the rare phone call from Cam, by the way, the other day with the entire family in the car.
That was pretty good one night.
And so my wife was like, go ahead and answer it. And Ty was like, yeah, tell him not to cuss. Tell him
And I
that.
didn't.
I actually took you off the Bluetooth just to make sure.
I get that.
Because
I mean,
you'll mess up their algorithm in the first 10 minutes or whatever.
Probably.
So that your top 6, though, would you not put Makar up there?
I just told you I would. It'd probably be the next one would be.
Would you take him? Would you take Makar over?
I went righty lefty.
Would you take Makar over Hughes?
Right now, yeah. He's just bigger.
We may not be saying that 3-4. Oh my god.
Maybe not,
he
dude, but-
shot at 102 miles per hour.
Maybe not, but Makar he's bigger and they're both unbelievable
powerful.
skater. But he can. So when you're bigger and you're just as good as
Yeah.
Hughes at skating,
Take the
you
size,
have an extra
dude.
6
Take the
inches on
size.
everything.
Take the size.
Like you could that even an inch helps.
Yeah.
Think about how many times you just missed the puck when they go D to D with
Yeah.
it because you weren't.
But Quinn Hughes is
He's damn good. He's
spectacular.
unbelievable. That's why I'm happy for the Canadian folk, especially in British Columbia.
Spectacular. But Paul Coffey.
We're
Do you,
missing
do you
somebody.
need coffee if you have Makar?
No, that's what I'm saying. Now you need a couple. I got Stevens and I got somebody else.
Oh, Scotty
yeah,
Stevens.
damn
too.
right. Scotty Stevens is another monster. Just
I
to,
know.
like,
No, there's nothing.
tone
there's
things
no wrong
down,
answer.
baby.
I mean, you're trying to take
I want
6.
killers back there that could play.
Mhm.
The killers.
I just may take MacInnis. We could put him
Okay,
with,
fine.
put
Scotty
him-
and Bobby
Put
Orr.
him with Pronger on the same pair.
God damn, dude.
It's hard to believe the Blues didn't
I
win
would
the
have the
Stanley
biggest-
Cup with those two on the
I know.
defense together.
Well, because you ran into hardcore teams.
because our guest right now, Grant Fuhr, got hurt.
That's true.
Grant Fuhr doesn't
Here's
get
a-
hurt. Al MacInnis said if Grant Fuhr doesn't get hurt, they win the Stanley Cup
Still
that
ran
year.
into some hardcore teams.
I know.
You had Colorado, you had Detroit, you had Dallas. They were loaded.
Hey, listen, we're excited to get Grant Fuhr on, by the way. We needed to get Grant on, and
Yeah, I know.
we just hadn't gotten him on yet.
Yeah.
You know, you see him do some things with them other, you kind of want to get him when it's like quiet, when
Yeah.
people maybe aren't thinking about Grant Fuhr a whole lot, right?
That's what we like to do.
And it was perfect timing. He's great. Like you got to have rapid fire questions, because he gives very quick, short answers. He's not a guy
Very
that's
much
going to
so.
belabor a point
No.
and go on and on. It's not like you have like, Brian Boucher, who's a broadcaster. You can like
Or Jimmy Dowd.
or like Alan Wallace. You can ask a question
No.
and don't go there.
I'm not going to say anything.
Don't go there.
I'm not going to say
I
anything.
mean,
I didn't do
and they'll
anything.
give long answers. And so you have time to
Long.
like think about your next question.
We
It's
had
just
no
like,
time. We were rapid fire. No,
it's
we were like, you go.
Grant,
Come on.
tell me about that time you were in Toronto and you guys
pretty
went
good.
out with Gretzky. Yeah, it's fun. Gretzky's fun.
Okay, it's hard. Like if you guys know, you know.
He's like, Gretzky's Gretz.
Like sometimes, if Jimmy D the other day, we're like, Jimmy, Jersey, and he's like, Jersey. There, I was the
Apparently
first.
he said, like 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's how. That's his thing.
But I don't want to come across like this is maybe the best interview you'll ever hear from Grant Fuhr.
he's on for a long time with us, man.
Like
And we asked him about
and
everything.
he expands on a number of things.
Yep.
And
He
probably
got comfortable.
and he probably talked about things that you haven't heard him talk about in the past. So you'll enjoy this.
Yeah.
As always, first form though, Cam, fuels.
You got.
So
Let me tell you what I do.
the Cam Strick Podcast.
So when I get up in the morning, 4:30, I drink beer, so I'm like dehydrated. I take one of these little hydration, first form hydration, dump it in my water, crush it up. Take the vitamins, eat the vitamins in the morning. Then I'll have a protein shake, level 1. I'll take it and I'll mix it with just real quick. Kate will have like a frozen fruit, and I'll put that level one in
Like a
that bad
smoothie,
boy
basically.
smoothie, dude. And I sip that on my 45-minute drive to the studio because I can't eat a lot of shit. I can't get stuffed. It's early in the morning, and I got to perform. And you know how it is, man. Like when you're doing radio, you can't stuff yourself. You're gonna be like, "Boo!" You guys are gonna all notice, and we can't have that.
No, you feel good,
so
man.
It coats my stomach, dude.
Oh.
It gives me energy, and then I have these
And
beef sticks,
for people
man.
who don't know, the level one, if you're looking because it can be confusing sometimes if you don't know, because you have the different protein shakes.
Yes.
You got level one, you got the formula one. The level one, think of the L stands for like lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you can have that anytime. The
Anytime.
formula one you want to take after your workout.
After your workout, that helps your muscle. But the level
but
one,
I get both. I've been doing
it coats my stomach, dude.
that.
It's damn good.
I've got that velvet cake right now.
It's good.
Dude.
That's what I like.
Oh my God,
good.
it's incredible. And the kid shakes now. I'm making those for Ty to get him all.
Get him into that. Get him used to drinking it, dude. Always mix it with good fruit. It's just an easy thing to do, and you guys get used to it. When you get up, you're gonna be like, "This is what I'm doing." Boom, boom, boom. It'll all be ready. You get it ready the next
Here's
night.
what the people
night
need to
before.
know, though. First Form Nick, and of course Andy and Sal and all the great people over there at First Form. It's a 110% guarantee. Money back guarantee.
And I asked him, like, damn.
So, like, if you don't like it and you pay it, they'll give you like money back.
Money back.
But don't take advantage of that.
No, but I asked them.
People don't do it.
They go, no, they don't do it because they have our product. And like, okay, no, I'm keeping this damn thing.
But you got to get the app because the app is what kind of runs the whole thing. It organizes you, gets you on track, and truly gets you doing that lifestyle that
they teach you how to work out. Too.
Yeah, and you get a 30-day free trial when you use our link.
Cam
With
Strick,
that first-time purchase.
So
first-time purchase, use our link. You get a free 30 days, man,
Yeah.
with the app. That's like a hell of a deal right there.
you got everything in one area, and they'll teach you all this stuff as well. So check it out, and always put in Cam Strick, no matter what, man. Helps us out, helps them out. But they got a lot of options, and I'm wearing their clothes right now too, baby.
Hey,
That's
and
why I
me too. This is first
That's why I
form.
do.
This is first form.
Yeah, I know. I got one of those.
Yeah.
My cat puked on it.
Really?
God damn it, Boo.
It's like a sand color. Someone's gonna chirp me because
That's
someone.
the second one I got, and Boo puked on it.
Because Boo's
God.
sick, dude.
Why is it?
She looks
Jeez.
skinny. She looked really skinny.
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying.
She looks.
She's puking everywhere. She's probably
16 years old.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a sad day.
Oh
And
my God.
I came in.
I will
God.
be there for you. I can tell you.
Oh, I
that.
bet you will.
Um,
The first guy I'm calling is Andy.
No.
Oh,
you
yeah.
will.
Good
Hey,
for
listen,
you. Listen, I did an interview.
Hey, I made a list of my favorite things. So these are Stricky's favorite things, like diamond rings. What you gonna do when you have my favorite things? This is what I would put in your shopping cart. Like if you're like, okay, what do I buy for the first time? You get your 30-day free trial on the app with the first time purchase, 100% money back guarantee,
Yeah.
baby, 110%. Right? I'd get a level one. Pick out your favorite flavor. Lots of flavors to choose from. Okay, I would go with the formula one because you want to get your workout, then you want to take a shake after your workout. You're repairing that body,
Builds that muscle
that
up.
lean muscle
Damn
tissue,
right.
baby. I'd get the collagen, man. The collagen's, it's not just for the women, it's for the men too. Healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy nails, man. Collagen, very important. One of the more popular items they have
we
there at
asked somebody
First
about
Form.
that,
I would get the Opti greens. I put those greens in there. They come in individual little packets. Put them in there with water, shake it up. I get all my greens. I get all my fruits. You can get the
Easy
fruits
peasy.
and the greens. But the greens, I go greens first, then fruits. If you can get them both, get them both. But I go greens if you had to pick one over the other. But get the fruits with it, man. I mix the fruits and the greens together. Is what I do.
Speed it up just a little bit here
okay.
because like you're
And
running
then-
out. Like,
and then the micro factor, the vitamins.
That's
You want
what
to
I
get the
take every-
multi.
and you know you
pack.
have
Yeah,
them in your
yeah,
system
yeah.
because when you pee, you're like, yeah, baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's lime green like a Surge.
God.
Remember Surge in the 90s? Yeah.
Hey, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Purchase everything using our link and do that today. All right, the Illinois Recovery Center. Are you heading out there this week?
Tomorrow. So I'm going to go out to Illinois Recovery Center, say hey to Chrissy Pondoff, Eric Conley,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go talk to the patients.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And I want to kind of do this more often, I think.
Yeah.
I know.
At least once
I think
a
this
month.
is going to be a good opportunity for me to get used to explaining my
Speaking.
story and just making them feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Like I'll tell them everything. Like I
Yeah.
get it. I know exactly what you did. I get all of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go out there, man, right there in Swansea, Illinois. Even if you're not in St. Louis, you can get a hold of me or Chrissy or Eric or whatever.
Whoever, yeah.
And we'll explain exactly what goes down, the insurance, all that shit. Because I know there's a ton of questions, but you know people that have a problem. We all do. I know sometimes it's hard to bring it up because they're like they're always defensive. But if you know how to talk to somebody about it, they'll open up to you.
Yeah.
It's one like, hey, get your shit together there. And like, man, I can't fucking
that's
talk
not
to
the
you,
way it
man.
works,
I can't
man.
talk to you.
Like,
Hey,
what are you doing?
Suck it up
Just
there.
Stop.
How do you not just stop? You have no idea.
No.
You have no idea. If you don't know, you don't know. So I just have a good grip
Yeah.
on what's going on. So I'm going to
Get
do
a
that
good
tomorrow
grip.
with Illinois Recovery Center. Check them out, by the way. Go online. You could get a hold of me.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
It's easy. It's right there in Swansea. The beds are comfortable.
Yeah.
You could see grass, huge windows. All that little shit makes a big difference.
Clean.
It's clean as shit. And you get work done. You go there and you get work done. And then you know what you want to do afterwards? You want to rule the world when you get that shit out of your system. When you're done, you're like, God, I want to work out. I want to do this. Like, I need to do business. Like, now you're not a fake person anymore.
Yeah.
You're not controlled.
800-743-0971. 800-843 or 743-0971. Reach out if you have any questions, and we can help you get in touch with the right people.
Damn right.
And I'm always
check it
available,
out.
Always available. Cam, Bellman Automotive, man. At Bellman Automotive, you getting a what?
Swinging dicks.
Located
Annoying.
in Troy, Missouri, baby.
They're annoying.
Who, the Swinging Dicks?
Oh.
Yeah. They can
Bragged
do that
up, one up, like kind of one-uppers. Like they know what you did, and they have to one-up you. Like, well, back when I beat guys up better than you did. Oh, I know you did. That's fine. All good. I used to do. I'm better at this than you, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
You can bring your girl with you.
Your girl gets kind of creeped out by the
Not
swinging
there.
dicks. No, dude. Not at Bellman. But everywhere else, man. If you know, you know.
Hey, I got her. Who's
Hey,
got that
she like
blind
me.
piece of meat out there?
You're lucky. Like, okay, thank you.
Do you know there's a woman right now who's sailing around the world?
Yeah, there's probably 15 of them.
Around the world.
Yeah, there's probably 15 of them.
Okay.
Actually, people do that all the time now. All the time.
By
On
herself.
sailboats.
She's got a month to go.
Some of them.
She's from Maine. She's going to end in
I don't
Spain.
know where you're going with this, but some of them even like create designs of a fucking hamster wheel and try to do it and get arrested.
Do you know that the waters have calmed down in the Atlantic and the southern oceans? It was like crazy.
It
dude.
changes all the
She
time.
hurt her
Andy.
ribs. She got crashed into a rock.
I'll tell you what, California's getting rocked by floods right now, and it's going to ruin some things.
So Bellman, they have Buick GMC on one side of the street, Cam on the other side. They've got Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. They've
A lot
got
of
something for
options.
everybody.
A lot of options. They
Yeah.
got some badass stuff.
Say hi
going
to
on.
Danny, boy.
Danny, what up, homeboy?
Say hi to Dale.
Dale. Goddamn, Dale.
And Kenny.
Kenny.
God damn you, Kenny.
Damn it, Kenny.
Bellman Automotive, man. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the spring. And, of course, SparksHockey.com. Don't let Seth ruin your weekend.
Can't do it.
Sparks Hockey, baby.
Can't do it.
Check that out. Use our promo code Cam Strick. It's going to save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
like it.
Let's get to Grant Fuhr, man. NHL legend. One of the greatest in the history of the game. Another Hall of Famer joins us
Dang
in the
good.
Cam Strick Podcast, baby. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/CamandStrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/CamandStrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. What's going on with you, man? Everything, you golf today or no golf today?
No golf today. We got a little rainstorm going through, so it's one of our probably 3 days a year that it actually rains here.
It's golfing weather. You'd never know it with Cam's scarf that he's got on today, but it's really golfing weather today. It's like mid-60s here in St. Louis today.
Oh, that's definitely a golf day.
Hey, is it like I wear my scarf just because I match everywhere? Unlike him, he's got blue and black on. No
I
big
wore
deal.
a golf shirt.
People
though,
will chirp in the comments
For
whenever they see this video. Hey, but when it rains down there, is it kind of like in St. Louis when it snows or ice? People get in panic mode a little bit. Is it weird when it rains down there?
Oh, yeah. It keeps life entertaining. Nobody knows how to drive. But there's no drainage either, which keeps it exciting. So
So it floods everywhere.
Oh, yeah. When you get a good rainstorm, it'll flood here, which keeps things most entertaining.
I've been in the midst of a crazy flood one time in Phoenix, in Arizona, man. The whole town, they had crazy rain for a couple days. They've got no sewers in the streets there in Arizona. Is that how it is in Palm Springs, too?
Yeah, we're pretty similar. The sewers that they do have usually get plugged up over the course of the years, so nothing drains.
Hey, how'd you settle on Palm Springs? How'd you end up there?
My wife's from here, so makes life
That'll
pretty
do
easy.
it. Yeah, that'll do it, man.
How'd you meet her?
Golf tournament over in San Diego. So
Was she playing?
Well.
Was she
plays
playing?
a little bit. She don't play as much as I do, but she plays a little bit. So she's kind of spoiled with weather. She thinks it's cold at 70, so.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
Hey, do you run into Babcock and Hitchcock out there in Palm Springs on the golf course or anywhere else, or no?
I've seen Babs and Hitch, Glenn Sather, Lou Nanny,
Yeah.
Jimmy Schoenfeld. There's a few guys that kind of hide out down here.
Are you guys like hanging out at the watering hole in the evenings, kind of like they do in Gaza Ranch? You ever go to Gaza and hook up with like Gretzky and those guys and play golf out there?
I've been to Gaza. We try and get out to Coeur d'Alene every summer, so get a chance to see the boys a little bit. But no, it's funny. They live on one end of town. They're out in La Quinta, and I'm over in Palm Desert. So everybody here thinks a 20-minute drive is forever.
I know. Can I ask you for some advice though? Because there's a lot of guys out there listening. Like I'm reading like how much you play golf, like well over 200 rounds a year. Like, how do you do it? Like, would you tell your wife she's just conditioned to just know that you're going golfing every day, or are you so good that you can just knock it out in like 2 hours? Where it's not like us, where we go at like 11, then we don't finish till like 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, no, I'm pretty fortunate that she lets me play a lot. So, but no, during COVID, I got 200, 250 rounds in. Now that the hockey team's here, that's slowed down. I think last year I played just over 100 rounds. So the other difference is we get to play any day. There's no real bad days. I mean, even though it's a rainy day, you can still play golf in it.
Are you walking? Are you in the cart? Is it an exercise for you?
Let's just say I'm in a cart. I'm old. So,
I know. Hey, who am I kidding? Like, yeah, you
Don't be embarrassed of that, man. You got to be.
I do.
I would be in a cart too. I'd be in a cart. Before we move on from the golf though, like how good are you? Like, I'm curious when you were playing and even like right after you played, because I know you've done well in all these celebrity golf tournaments and whatnot. Did you ever think that you were like gonna become a professional golfer? Like, are you at that level? Like, could you have made that jump?
Not anymore. I mean, at one time I had got it down to about a +3. So now I just enjoy the game. Go out with a bunch of buddies. I got some buddies that are playing Corn Ferry Tour and that sort of thing. So I'll go out and play with them. And then I've got a regular group of guys that we might play for $1 here or there and have some fun.
So when you're working, I know you're working just at home, which is really nice. Do any other NHL teams ask if you want to, work for them, do some radio stuff, do some TV stuff, or are you just like, no, I got a good thing going down here. I don't want to move.
Yeah, no, nobody's asked yet. So I'm kind of living in golf heaven, and they've added hockey to it now. So life's pretty good right here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got you.
You must have been like, wow. Like they're bringing hockey here. Like,
yeah, no shit.
That's amazing because you weren't looking to go anywhere else, right? I mean, you just mentioned your wife's from there, so that kind of keeps you there, right?
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on moving anywhere. So the fact that 3 or 4 years ago they were talking about bringing the hockey team just made it a little more interesting. And once they built the building and brought the club in, now I've got something to do at night.
Hey, who's the most famous person you've golfed with? Because I know you've had a chance to golf with a lot of people.
Well, you can start with Gretz. That's a pretty famous guy.
He's famous
for
and
sure.
then who else have I played with? Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Sterling Sharp I play a bunch with. So I get a good cast I get to play with. Played a bunch with Phil Mickelson. So we've had some fun.
I know.
Were you gambling with Jordan? He always gambles, right? So were you just like, okay, I know I'm going to have to get a couple G notes out and get on my game because he's hardcore?
No, I was a little pre-madcap gambling. So
there's
always a little something on the game.
I get you.
Hey, listen, we take Gretzky for granted because he's around now. Like, you see him all the time because he's on TNT. He's got a house here in St. Louis. He comes down to the Blues games all the time. It's like, but he probably is the most famous person any hockey player really knows, to be honest with you, man. He's universally known. He's got that great basement going on right now. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures that are circulating on Twitter right now of all his memorabilia and stuff like that. But they asked Connor McDavid the other day, who's the most famous person you know? And he said Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. So he's about as famous as it gets,
Yeah, pretty easy choice when it comes to that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Were you guys friends together? Like, would you guys, when you were playing, were you hanging with him? Did you hang by yourself? Was there different cliques in the locker room at the early age when you were a young goalie in Edmonton?
You know what? We didn't really have cliques. Everybody kind of hung out together. I mean, we had that old-fashioned, you got to go for the mandatory team lunch. So everybody'd go out and have an adult beverage and hang out together. And that was the great thing about the club in Edmonton is we spent a lot of time together. and did everything together, traveled with the cup together after we won. So it's a close group, and it's still a close group of guys.
Well, okay, so when you left Edmonton, was it a different story when you played for other teams? Were you like, oh, this is a little bit different?
Toronto was a little bit different just because bigger city and everybody was a little more spread out. Buffalo was a little bit closer, and just because there wasn't a whole lot else to do. So you played golf with a bunch of the guys and hung out. St. Louis, I thought, was the closest I've come to Edmonton. We had a great locker room where everybody spent time together, hung out together, and hence why we had a good club as well. And then Calgary was a pretty close team. We weren't very good, but we were a close team, and that made for a lot of fun. So I can honestly say I was pretty lucky over the course of 20 years.
Hey, how did everybody handle, like, because Wayne Gretzky, like, he treats everybody the same, right? I mean, no matter if he's meeting you for the first time or if he's a, close friend, like you are with him and go back, several decades. Like, how did people handle all the attention that he got? Like, did anybody ever get jealous of it? And how did he, like, was he always that kind to everybody, even when he was playing and getting, he couldn't really go anywhere, I would imagine. Like, what would you guys do in terms of getting out and trying to have some fun and some peace and quiet and go have dinner and a couple of drinks when he's on top of the world like that in Edmonton?
You know what? He's still the nicest man in the world. And I think that's the greatest thing is he treated the fans like you would anybody else. And when a young guy came to our team, he made sure that the young guy fit in. I mean, I know when I first got drafted, Wayne was the first guy I met in the organization. So he treats everybody like gold, and that's what makes him a special person.
I hear the same thing about Crosby too, man. All of Crosby's teammates say the same thing, because that's important, right? You got a guy who is almost larger than life inside the dressing room or whatever, man. I mean, it goes a long way when all of a sudden a guy like Wayne Gretzky comes up to you when you're just getting called up or you're new to the team and he like welcomes you to the team. That'll make you feel good right away, right?
Oh, no, it lets you feel like you almost fit in right away. So it's all about making the guys comfortable, and Wayne did a great job of that.
Do you watch NHL a lot? I know you're probably busy keeping track of the American League and whatnot. I mean, are you watching NHL games consistently?
Oh, I still watch a lot of hockey. And that's the funny part about things. It never leaves your blood. So I still watch a lot of hockey, especially once you get into the second half of the season when the games actually matter a little bit. I'll watch a lot more hockey. And now I follow it just because I'm working with the team here in the American League. So you like to see who's moving up and down, see what's going on.
Hey, listen, what was life like for you growing up in Alberta, and just playing goaltender, playing hockey, and your background and everything? Like, describe your childhood for us.
I had a great childhood. I mean, I put pads on, I think 4 or 5 was the first time I put pads on. And the beauty back then is you could play for as many teams as you wanted to. And nobody wanted to play goal, so I got to play with age groups that were 2 and 3 years older than I was, just because nobody else wanted to do it. So I got pretty fortunate. You played hockey 7 days a week. Summer, you played baseball 7 days a week. September could be both, and then sprinkled in a little football to go with it. So life was pretty good as a kid.
Hey, did you have a goalie coach? Like my son right now, he's 7 years old. He's not a goalie, but like we go and do these skill things, and I'll see at the other end of the ice. I mean, there's like 20 goaltenders like under the age of 10, like working with like 3 different goalie coaches. Did you ever have a goalie coach as a kid? Like, who taught you how to play?
I had to figure it out on my own. We didn't have any goalie coaches back then. The goalies were kind of the lost commodity at practice, so you figured it out on your own. I mean, I got my first goalie coach when I got to Buffalo, and I was already 11 years into the NHL.
Really? That was your first goalie coach as a pro?
Yeah, Mitch Corn was my first goalie coach. So
things have changed.
You had Eddie Chadwick, so you got a chance to talk to Chad, but Chad never came out on the ice. So you had your partner. And I had Ronnie Lowe my first couple of years, and Andy Moog, and so that was basically your sounding board, is talking to your partner.
Do you look at it now and all these goalie coaches are, doing step by step, helping out the goalies all day long, showing them different videos? You probably should look at that and be like, wow, you got a lot of extra help.
Yeah, you know what? Guys are getting a lot of help now, which is kind of nice to see. But at the same time, all you're doing is putting spit and polish on what a guy does really well. And you're kind of there as his psychologist more than anything.
Yeah.
Did you like being a goalie coach? Like when you were like helping out out there in Arizona, coach? I guess you were coaching under with Gretz, right? At the same time when you were the goalie coach out there. Did you like having the day-to-day responsibility? And what were you like as a coach? Did you leave your goalies alone, or were you in the film room and like just kind of scratching and clawing like all these other goalie coaches are?
You know what? If they're on a hot streak, you kind of leave them alone. If they're struggling a little bit, then you'll go break down the video and see what you can see. And you're there to make them feel confident. You want to make them feel like they're on top of the world and nobody can beat them. So you're there as the cheerleader. You're there as their psychologist. And when things go bad, sometimes you break down and just point out things that can change.
Hey, you saw that Joey Decord last year, right? With
all year long.
with
Joey's
Coachella.
a good kid.
Yeah. Are you surprised to see what he's doing in the NHL right now? What were your impressions of him on the ice and off the ice?
You know what? Phenomenal kid off the ice, and even better on the ice. His ceiling is endless. He's got just a ton of talent and gets it. He enjoys the game. He loves the game, loves being at the rink, and loves to learn. So he's going to get better and better as time goes.
Who do you think is best goalie in the league is right now? NHL.
Healthy, probably still Vasilevsky. And I think that's your Demko you could put in that class right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good young kids.
How tall are you?
On a good day with hair, about 5'10".
5'10". So like all these guys, I think Saros is like the only goaltender in the league right now that's under 6 feet. And the average size is like well over 6'3" now. I mean, everybody's got a 6'5" goaltender on their roster, 6'6", whatever. It's crazy, man. Could you have ever imagined how big these goaltenders are in today's game?
We used to think Ken Dryden was huge, and he was only 6'4". So, you look at the goalies now, it got to a trend where everybody wanted the biggest goalie. So, guys were all of a sudden 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". We've got, between Chris Drieger here and Alex Steshka, I think Driegs is the smaller one at 6'5". So, they're big kids. But at the same time, you look at a kid like Dustin Wolf that's playing for the Calgary Wranglers, he's barely 6 feet. I think they list him as 6'1", but there's not a chance because he's about my height. Mm-hmm. And you look at Panger. Panger's all of 5'0".
Yeah.
And managed to play in the National Hockey League. So it's not about size. It's about whether you can stop the puck or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panger's so damn good doing the broadcast. Sometimes you forget that he played in the show. Who made you mad? Like who's a guy that just kind of always bumped into you, kind of got that tip in front, maybe chirped a little bit, caught you off guard? Was there one guy that just kind of you hated playing against?
No, those were the guys that were fun to play against because you could have a little conversation, enjoy the game. Now you look at a guy like Dougie Gilmore was like that. Dino Cicerelli early in my career.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Holmstrom towards the end of my career. The kind of guys that want to see if they can get in your head, which it becomes a fun game then of playing cat and mouse.
Mm-hmm. Well, any little tricks that you would do to maybe like piss them off a little bit? A little cup check maybe, or something that you knew the ref wouldn't call you on?
If they backed into you, you might accidentally let them know you're behind them, give them a little tap. But you reminded them of whether you just got a glove on it, whether they just hit your pad, and that usually got under guys' skin pretty good.
Yeah. Pat Verbeek, Dave Anderchuk, those type of guys, man, just park in front.
Timmy Kerr was a big man that was hard to see around.
Yeah. So were you a talker? Like, would you talk shit, Grant, if you got somebody was just like in your face, sticking you? Would you give it back, or do you kind of keep it quiet?
Oh, no, I had fun on the ice. That's the one thing is I enjoyed being on the ice and I enjoyed having fun. You'd have some laughs and jokes with my own defensemen, with other teams' players. So you got to keep it light when you're playing.
Because you're pretty quick on Twitter, Grant. You don't take any shit on Twitter, man. I love how you give it back to the people.
Why do people chirp you on Twitter so bad, man? I see that and it kind of pisses me off.
You know what? I'm an easy target, apparently. So, but I have fun with them. I'll walk them down the road, and then you let the fans take over.
I just don't get it, though. You're an easy target. No, I'm an easy target. Andy's an easy target. You're not. I see it sometimes, and I'm like, what is going on here? Very bizarre.
Who knows? I mean, Twitter makes a lot of people brave. So it's one of those where if somebody wants to get into a debate about something, I'll debate them if I know what the end answer is. Mm-hmm. Because you can just lead them down the garden path, and all they're going to do is make a fool out of themselves.
I know it, but I love how you don't back down.
I
Like
love it,
sometimes, man, I'm like, oh my god, like I just don't even want to get in like a Twitter
I know.
exchange.
I'm a
I feel
pussy.
feel like I'm gonna get like fired or something if I do. Like you can't say the wrong thing. You're a Hall of Famer. You can say whatever the fuck you want, I guess,
shit.
right?
Well, you just kind of guide it without really saying what you want. I mean, you can put it bluntly, but we try and just kind of run it down the road a little without being real blunt about it. Fans will tell you, like I'll let my fans, they'll tell it exactly how it needs to be told. I just need to lead them down that path.
Yep. I get you. Hey, when you walk around where you live right now, do people recognize you?
During the winter, we get a ton of Canadians down here during the winter, but in the summer, it's pretty quiet out here.
It's pretty nice, eh?
They're like, Grant, what are you doing here?
Hi, Grant. They think you're like an
Hey,
investment firm or
you
something.
look like Grant Fuhr. Anyone ever tell you that?
You get that a few times down here. But the fun part now is with hockey, it's becoming more and more all year long. I mean, we've got a lot of locals now that have kind of bought into the game of hockey, and now you get stopped because everybody's got questions.
Yeah. So how do you make of like your career? It's interesting, man, because you guys were so good. Like, did they really hang you out to dry as much as like people assume? Like, did you never snapped in between periods and be like, guys, I know we can score 8-9 goals a game, but like it'd be nice if like somebody would come back and like help out defensively? Or are you okay with it, man? You just let them do their thing?
No, you let them do their thing. You're there to just make up in case they make a mistake. You're there to try and fix the mistake. But Glenn told us going in early, we were going to play offensive hockey, and I'm not a numbers guy. So the only number that really mattered was winning. I don't care if I win 9-8 or 1-0. It doesn't matter to me as long as you win. So it was a good fit for me because I enjoyed playing in that style.
Yeah, but it's easy for you to say that because like I hear from like your teammates, man, like they'll say though, like when it wasn't a Turgeon, right? Double overtime at Game 7 against the Coyotes, and he got the deflection. I think it was you that said between periods. I think it was that game that said, "Hey, listen, all I need is one goal," or whatever you said prior to the game. You've seen Paul Coffey make some comments like, if you guys were down in a game, hey, you're not going to allow any more. Like you could like flip a switch and just turn it on. Like where'd that confidence come from, and how confident were you, man, to be able to say that out loud to your teammates and then back it up?
Well, the hard part's backing it up. It's easy to say. I mean, the fun part is you're trying to breed confidence in your teammates. So you're a little bit like a duck. Everything looks calm on top. In the meantime, you're swimming like hell. So you say things that you think your teammates want to hear and that'll give them confidence, and then you just try and run with it afterwards.
Did Mess and Gretz kind of go at it ever in the locker room? Or is a game where maybe they're both kind of playing like shit and they kind of went at it a little bit? Did they ever bump heads?
No. I mean, Mess was kind of our vocal leader and Gretz led by example. So you had two different types of leaders, but both extremely good in their way. So it worked out in unison perfectly.
What do you think happened when Gretzky left? And I want to get your opinion when all that went down too, as the goalie too. Like, what? When you're trading Wayne Gretzky, I'm curious your opinion. But when he left, what do you think that meant to Mark Messier's career? Like, did that allow him to kind of spread his wings and maybe, get the? He already had respect, but truly get the respect that he didn't need Gretzky to be a true elite of the elite superstar in the NHL.
Well, I think everybody knew Mess was a superstar already by that point.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of once they traded Wayne, everybody wanted to be successful just to show that we were still a good hockey club with or without Wayne. But obviously you're a much better club with him. So everybody played a little harder, a little more committed that year, and it worked out well.
Yeah, we've had Bruce McNall on, obviously, who was on the LA side, and we've had Gretzky on, and we had Gretzky on for our 99th episode. If anybody wants to go back and check that out, but what was your reaction when he got dealt, and like when you first started to hear about it? Like, did you believe the rumors, and like, did you guys as teammates, how much did you talk to Wayne about it? Like, did you know this was going to go down eventually?
No, we had no idea. I think it caught everybody off by surprise. I mean, I know growing up in Edmonton, it caught the city by surprise. It caught the players by surprise. I was out in Newfoundland at Bob Cole's golf tournament when they traded him. So I think we all thought it was just kind of one of those rumors where you don't really think it's true, and it probably didn't sink in for a day or two.
So when you're traveling with him and Mess and yourself and you got all these superstars, You're flying commercial. Like, was it a pain in the ass to deal with that? Were people constantly coming up to you? You know, like now it's so much easier. You take the bus up, you walk off the bus, you walk on the plane, no one sees you, unless you have to go through customs. So, like, how was travel with all those guys, including yourself?
You know what? I don't think people realize we literally flew commercial. So I was the young guy for 5 or 6 years, which meant I got my nice, comfortable middle seat. So it was something we didn't know any better. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So you piled on. When I first started, there was a smoking section in the plane. So you just hope you didn't get stuck by that. But it was just normal. Just a bunch of guys, a bunch of kids wearing suits that flew around.
Everybody's like, who are they? Who's it? That's him. That's him. Look, can you go? Did they come up to you like on a plane, like come talk to you? Like, I need an autograph. Like, did were they respectful? No way. It couldn't be.
Oh no, people were respectful. Plus, I hid behind a mask, so nobody really knew what I looked like.
Oh,
That's
really?
true.
So,
well, you're the only one, man, that wore a
bit.
mask. Yeah.
And then you got Mess and Gretz. So they logged all the attention, which was perfect.
Yeah, go to them.
When you're watching a guy like Paul Coffey play, like, I mean, all these guys, like, you know how many Hall of Famers were on those, you know, those all-time Oiler teams, but watching him play, like, how do you think he'd do in today's game? Like, would he be just as good as Makar and these guys, man? And Quinn Hughes up in Vancouver? Like, he was so far ahead of his time. Like, nobody else played like him as a defenseman, did they?
No. I mean, Bobby Orr was probably the closest thing.
Yeah.
And if you took today's rules and put Koff in the game where you couldn't hook him, couldn't hold him, good luck trying to stop him. And you could hook, hold, and pretty much tackle guys back then and they couldn't stop him. So now give him free wheel, where you can just free wheel, where you can't even get a stick on him. You got no chance of catching him. Right? And everybody talks about today's game versus the game back then. The guys back then had to battle through a lot of things to score, whereas today it's a little soft in front of the net.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't hook, you can't hold. A guy gets a stick anywhere near your hands, it's a penalty. Whereas back then, you could pretty much do whatever you wanted the first couple of times. They might give you a penalty, they might not. But the game was a lot harder, and then you had a red line in as well.
Hey, did you look at the 04 lockout rule change when they started clamping down on the hooking and the clutching? When you saw that rule, I mean, you got to look at that and be like, that's a great rule for hockey. It opened up everything. And did you ever look at that and say, like, man, oh man, some of the superstars I played with could have straight up dominated throughout that era?
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you take that hooking and holding away, there's a lot of guys in the 80s that would have been better players. I mean, you look at the stars on every team and how much they got dragged down during the playoffs, hooked, held. I mean, if you go back to YouTube and watch any of the Calgary-Edmonton series in the playoffs, it looked like a war. I mean, guys got tackled in front of the net, no penalties, that sort of thing. All of a sudden, you can't touch them. Everybody becomes a better player.
Yeah, that lazy hook. Oh.
Hey, getting back to Coffey, like, how was he defensively? Like could he defend other teams' top players too? It wasn't just a run and gun guy. Like, if he wanted to lock it down, could he do that too?
He could if he wanted to. I mean, during the regular season, not so much because he didn't want to. Mm-hmm. He was there for offense and to score, and Charlie Huddy played the defensive side of things. But if he had to play good defense, Koff could play good defense. The only thing he wouldn't do is block shots, which was quite fine.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't, like, try to make him a forward, you know, at that time where the game was at, like, being like, why are you playing defense? You need to play forward. Nobody plays like you. What about Glenn Sather, man? Did you like him? Where does he stack up with your coaches you've had?
No, Slats was great. I mean, he let us mature as people, as players, gave us enough rope to try and hang ourselves, which we came close to a couple of times. So, but no, he allowed us to have fun. He allowed us to play that offensive style, which I think everybody on the squad enjoyed. So he was a good coach. And sometimes he became a father figure for us.
Can I go back to Coffey real quick? So you said he didn't block shots. Like, was it known on the bench when he would go out, would he just like flamingo and like everybody just kind of rolled their eyes, but he's Paul Coffey, so he could do that. Was it like that, or he just didn't take the extra step to block the shot?
Oh, no, he'd turn and look for the rebound. So there was no blocking shots. And he'd try and force the guy to go outside and let the guy shoot, and then he'd look for the rebound.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't blame him.
How good was Gretzky, like, in practice? Like, would he practice hard? Like, would he try to do stuff in practice that maybe he wouldn't do in a game? Like describe, like, what It's just interesting, man. I don't understand how anybody, like, you get to the highest level, how one person can be so much better than everybody else, you know? And I'm old enough to have watched Gretzky when I was a kid, you know, more so, you know, from like the St. Louis era on, because I was young when you guys were in Edmonton, man. But why was he so much better than everybody else? Because there was other great players in that era too.
He just thought 3 or 4 steps ahead of everybody else. I think that was the biggest thing. And our practices were geared to scoring. I mean, our systems were all built to be offensive, and practice was built that way. So it was one of those things that you knew we were good offensively. And our first year in the Cup final against the Islanders in '83, we weren't good enough defensively. And the Islanders kind of ran over us. We got beaten 4. So we realized we had to be a little better defensively come playoff time. But if you look at the regular season, defense was not the style of hockey we were going to play.
They're like, okay, guys, the practice plan is 1-on-0,
Offense.
2-on-0, 3-on-0, 3-on-1, and then we'll go back and do some 3-on-0s, and then we'll get off.
Yeah. And fears you handle the rest.
We had a lot of practices like that, and then they might sprinkle in a 5-on-2 if you were lucky.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do a 5-on-0.
Hey, so how, like, playing in the 80s, you're winning all the time. Like, was it loosey-goosey as far as, like, after the game? Can you all just, when you get in, fly into a town, and maybe it's different because the travel is different. Are you guys all going out? Is there beers on the plane? Are you drinking in the locker room? Like, how was that lifestyle?
Let's just say the 80s was the best time to play. You got no social media, no cell phones. So our guys had a lot of fun. We'll put it that way. But no, I mean, yeah, everybody went for a beer after the game. And home games, there was a beer fridge in the back. So you could have a cold beverage and have a little bit of fun. But traveling, we're a little more subdued when you're traveling.
Yeah.
But you are like one of the most famous teams in the world, certainly the most famous hockey team in the world. Are celebrities hanging out? Like every game on the road, somebody's wanting to come in and come into the room. Are there supermodels hanging out? Like, I mean, like who's in the hotel lobby? Like, I mean, do you think your guys' experience in the league at that time was completely different than everybody else?
Oh, I'm sure having with Wayne and Mess on the team that we probably get to see a few more people than most teams would. But at the same time, they kept it pretty subdued in the dressing room. I mean, yeah, when you went out with some different people, that sort of thing. But at the same time, that was the fun of it, is you could hide amongst the people. Mm-hmm. So you figure no cell phones, nobody's taking video of you, so you weren't worried about anything.
God, that's nice, man. That is nice.
Oh, no.
I'm sure a lot of guys now are like, yeah.
It's the perfect
so, like,
era.
were you like the next day, you know, Gretz probably did something. Were you going to the locker room, Gretz walks in, you're like, what'd you do last night? You know, would you say like, well, Tom Cruise was in town. I said hey to him, and then I did this and I did that. I mean, or is it just like, no, was he going out all the time? Was he just chilling? Like, it must be tough when people want to hang out with you all the time.
Yeah, it depends on the schedule. I mean, if you got days off, then the guys are going out. If you're playing the next day, everybody realizes that and you respect the game. But on our off time, our guys had a lot of fun. I don't think anybody got cheated.
I get you.
Were you the highest paid goaltender in the league? Like, were you able to find out what other goalies around the league were making, and were you able to negotiate a deal that was fair relative to your success and the team's success?
The first few years, nobody had any idea what anybody was making. So, I mean, and it's not what we worried about. I mean, I think that was the difference of that era as well. Is you wanted to win, and you worried about winning, and you figured if you won, you got paid. So, contracts weren't. Nobody really worried about that at that time. I mean, I think that changed after Wayne got traded to LA when you start to realize what everybody's making, then everybody wanted to make a little more.
Yeah. It helped all you guys out, though, eventually. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
hey, we had Kiprios on. He basically, we got him to admit that he fell on you on purpose. I don't think he ever admitted that anywhere else. And we like Kipper, man. And, you know, he's doing, you know, he's had a, you know, great media career as well. But what are your interactions like after that? Like the first couple times you ran into him? Like, do you still have some bitterness towards him because of that entire incident, him falling on you in the playoffs?
No, I mean, it happens every playoff. You figure over, 17 years of being in the playoffs, you probably got fallen on 500 or 600 times. So it's just one of those things. I happen to have a leg in a bad spot. So, but it's going to happen every playoff. It happens every series. Somebody's going to fall into you. Somebody's going to bump into you. And you were taught that because if the defenseman's going to push you towards the goalie, you fall on the goalie, especially if the goalie's playing well. So you kind of look at it as a badge of honor.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're coaching, I mean, that's what coaches tell their players to do. Crowd the crease, bump the goalie, get him off his game. Yeah. But you were dealing with an injury, right? You missed some games down the stretch in the regular season. Did you re-injure the same knee, or did you have a relapse there with the same injury, or was it completely different? Like, what'd you hurt? Your knee?
Yeah.
Tear some ligaments?
Yeah, when Kipper fell, I tore what I tore. ACL, MCL, all the meniscus. So it made for a not very fun summer, but we managed to make it back for training camp. So went 3 months to rehab it. Spent a bunch of time with Bobby Kersey, which was interesting. So, playing was a lot easier than hanging out with Bobby.
Oh, I bet. But there's like stories that are always told around here. Like the next day, you were like putting your pads on. Like, were you like lobbying to try to get back in there and play? Like, were you being serious? Like, you really thought you could get back in there and play?
I'd never torn anything in a knee before, so I threw a knee brace on to see if I could go out and skate the next day. And you could skate, but the minute I went down, I knew it was a problem. She couldn't get back up. So then we went and had an MRI after that and realized that things were a little torn up, and we were going to get to spend the next 3 months rehabbing.
Al MacInnis has even said that, like, he thinks that team, if you didn't get hurt, like, you guys would have gone on to win the Stanley Cup. Like, do you agree with that? Was the team that good?
Oh, yeah. The team was that good. There's no question. The team was that deep, too. I mean, we had, you got Pierre Turgeon, Gretz, Al MacInnis, Prongs, Hully. I mean, we had a stacked roster. So we definitely had a chance of winning it all.
How was the dynamic in the locker room, with Hawley and Keenan and whatnot? Like, did it get pretty crazy at times? Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's had its moments. There's no question. Hawley and Mike, let's just say, didn't see eye to eye. So there was a lot of interesting conversations in the dressing room, before practice, on the bench. So it was a new element to the game that we hadn't seen until I got to St. Louis.
Man.
Yeah, Gretz didn't do that. Like, they never did that with the Oilers, but Hawley was the first guy where you're like, wow, these guys are going toe-to-toe.
Oh, yeah, which was fun because I enjoyed playing with Hawley. He lets you know exactly where you stand every day. There's no question. And nobody's off limits.
Yeah.
He still does. Didn't you guys ride to the rink every day together? Like, you got to have some stories from riding to the rink with Hawley. Who was driving?
Oh, yeah. Hawley was driving. Myself and Jeff Courtnall were the passengers. So, yeah, you let the mayor drive.
God,
he was the mayor, man, wasn't he? Like, describe his star power to Gretzky's. And I know, like, nobody's bigger than Gretzky, but Hawley in St. Louis, man, was as big as it's going to get. So describe the two.
You know what? Gretz is big. Hawley in St. Louis was just as big. I mean, you literally could call him the mayor. Between him and Kelly Chase, they pretty much controlled everything in St. Louis. You knew where to go, where to eat. If you went out with them, you got treated like a god. So St. Louis was a fun place to be.
Dude, and the coach played you every day. Like, I mean, to play in 76 consecutive games and to play in 79 games, that'll never happen ever again in the history of hockey. There's just no way. Were you ever just like, man, I need a day off, I need a break, or were you just loving the fact that he was playing you every night?
No, I love to play. I think that's the biggest thing is you prepare to play anyway, so why not just play? If you look at it, physically, you're not going to feel 100%, but you don't feel 100% probably from training camp on. So I enjoyed playing, and Mike let me play every night, so I had no problem with it. It becomes a mental battle then, where you convince yourself you're not tired. And once a game starts, the adrenaline takes over, so you're fine.
So when you're a goalie coach, are you presenting that to the hierarchy and saying maybe he can play this back-to-back? Because now, I mean, obviously they don't do that now, but...
Oh no, the load management thing I still don't get. If you've got a hot goaltender, they're young. You can play back to back. You're not going to burn them out. If you're burning him out, then you got a problem. Then he's either got to get back in the gym and do a little bit more, or he's got to get himself a psychologist to help him through it. But the load management thing is more for coaches, and now that you're in a world of statistics, they're all worried about burning guys out. I think it's more of a mental mindset to be able to play every day. Players play every day. So why can't a goalie play every day?
Man, I don't know. That's just the mindset is. And nowadays, you know what every coach says in the league today? You got to have two goalies. You can't win with just one goalie. Yeah. So now you need two. You can't just win with one because, last year I think Binnington played his career high. He was somewhere around 60, 65 games. And that was a lot of the talk this offseason. Hey, we got to reduce his workload. They've got this young kid, obviously, who allows them to do that, and Joel Hofer, who's going to be a good goalie. But even guys like Hellebuck and these guys that play into the 60s, man, people are like, wow, man, this is going to catch up with these guys.
Over time, it'll slowly catch up to you. But when you're in the prime, you can do it. You want to have the second goalie in case something happens. I mean, if a guy's dinged up enough, you want to be able to rest him if you can. But at the same time, if he's healthy enough, then I see no reason not to play him. Bruce
Racine is plenty rested. He probably could still play because he never got to play with you. He just got to be the backup. Hey, what happened with when Keenan sent you home for being overweight or out of shape or whatever it was? Give us a real story there.
That wasn't in the shape he wanted. So I was in my usual training camp shape where I keep a few extra pounds, but I also know that I'm going to play most of the exhibition games. I like to play a lot, and I like to play myself into shape, and I've done that my whole career. I did that in Edmonton. So it wasn't any different than normal. Just Mike didn't see it that way. And I missed the memo that he traded Curtis right before that. And Curtis happened to just win the most popular player. So it was an interesting way to get introduced to St. Louis.
Ooh. So when you went there, he just weighed you? Did you guys all just get weighed in? Or did he just do a body fat count on you? And no, this is too much?
No, we got weighed in to a skewed scale. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Because I flew back home, and then we went over to one of the hospitals in Edmonton and jumped on the scale, and I'd magically lost 9 pounds on my way. So
9?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the scale might have been out just a hair, but
that's a big.
So the scale they were using in St. Louis, it was it wasn't even accurate.
Yeah.
So
well, you know what it was is Mike likes to have control.
Yeah.
So that was his way of having control. But at the same time, he didn't realize it's not really going to bother me any. I know my body enough to know that we were fine to play. And apparently, if you can play 79 games, it couldn't have been too bad.
No shit. So how pissed off were you? You go home, and so what'd you do? And how long was it before he called you and said, okay, you can come back now? And when you came back, did he have to weigh you again and all that? I mean, listen, you're an established superstar. By that stage, you pretty much had already put together a Hall of Fame career with all your Stanley Cups, and I know you hadn't gotten to 400 wins yet and all that, but still, man, everyone knew you were a legendary name in the game. Were you I don't need this, or how'd you maintain your cool with throughout all that?
I went back home and played golf. I think that was the biggest thing. I went and played in some mini tour events and had some fun playing golf, and then 3 days later, Mike phoned and told me to get my butt back to St. Louis. And then we had a little conversation. Mike said, you don't say anything bad about me. I won't say anything bad about you. Well, it was a little late by then. He'd already had his money's worth of saying bad about me. And then just play till I tell you to stop. And I'm like, fine, I got no problem with that. So we just played.
So were they chirping you in St. Louis in the media? Did you pay attention to any of that shit? I know it's easy not to when you don't have social media, but did they blame you, or were they blaming Keenan at that point? Did you know?
I get all the blame at that point.
Yeah.
Prongs and I.
Yeah. Prongs too, yeah, he took a beating too.
He did.
Prongs might have got it worse than I got it.
According to him, yeah, he would probably agree with that. I mean, the stories he tells us are just crazy. It's funny because Prongs took all the heat from the Toronto broadcasters when Kyprios fell on you. They're like, he pushed him on top of Fuhr. And it's he kind of tapped him, He didn't really get a good shot on him until he was already laying on top of you. But man, that. So that's how Keenan operates, right? Because he's got thin skin when people take shots at him. He didn't like his players to call him out publicly at all, right?
Oh no, that was not a good thing. He frowned on that a little bit, which Hully broke that rule right out of the gate. So, well, that's what made it fun. I mean, it became a war of wills, and if he figured out that he couldn't bother you, he'd move on to somebody else.
Like a bully.
So it got entertaining with Prongs. I mean, Prongs probably had the center seat in the outhouse, where if things went wrong, he'd give Prongs shit, and Prongs being Prongs would just kind of shake it off and go whatever, and just play.
What you play with Twister?
Twister was there, Chaser.
How was Twister? Because he ran the show too. He was very popular in that town as well, and he kind of just did those things.
Still is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. He's living way out in the country, and he comes out here and there. But how was your relationship with him? We love him, by the way.
Oh, no, I get along great with Twister. Twister and I had a little battle in the scoring race. So
I know the feeling.
Which year was that? Because you had 14 assists one year.
Yeah.
I had 14 at Edmonton. I forget what I had in St. Louis the one year, but I know I finished ahead of Twister, so that was all that mattered. And we gave him a hard time about that every day.
I love it.
He's a good dude.
I could see all you guys getting along unbelievably well. That probably pissed off the coach, too, because you guys were all so tight, man. He couldn't break you guys apart.
Well, that was the one thing about Mike, is he didn't realize he was driving the guys together. Or maybe he did realize it. But the guys all became closer. Mm-hmm. And he was hard on the young guys, so the young guys would kind of hang out with the veteran guys. And the veteran guys would just kind of tune him out at times. So it became a really close group of guys.
So what's your take on him? Looking back on it, are you in the camp of wow, he pushed me and he was good for me and now I think he had good intentions? Or are you this guy was the biggest, jerk in the history of you'd never been around anyone like him? What's your just overall opinion of him? Not just as a coach, but as a person.
You know what? Away from the game, Mike's a great guy. I mean, in the game, he was good for me because he left me alone and let me play. I think that was the biggest thing, is I got to play every day. And I played for Glenn Sather. He's old school hard coach. I played for John Muckler, very old school hard coach. John Tortorella was our assistant when I was in Buffalo. So old school. Pat Burns was old school. So by that point, I'd seen enough hard coaches that it really didn't bother me.
All the coaches were old school back then, right? There weren't too many softies, back then.
You'd get the full undressing by a few of them.
Oh, yeah.
Do you notice the difference between the players now? Are they complete? I know every decade you go through that and it changes and whatnot, but is there a bigger change now with the players than it used to be?
Yeah, they're all a small business by themselves now. And we laugh on the broadcast once in a while here. I tell them that players have feelings now. Back then, you weren't allowed to have feelings. Yeah. You could be yelled at. You could actually take being undressed. Whereas now they've got feelings where some guys will just shut down and not play. I mean, it's interesting to watch the difference of the athletes back then to the athletes now. Yeah, they're getting paid better now, but all of a sudden feelings have crept in.
Why? Why do you think that is?
It's just society on a whole. I mean, you used to be able to have a sense of humor. Now they frown on you if you have a sense of humor. So it's society in general.
Yeah. Well, Marc Bergevin, he was a GM recently, right? I mean, this guy had as much.
Berge would be great as a GM. He was one of the funniest men I played with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Everyone's got a story about Marc Bergevin. Hey, what about Dominic Hasek? Did you like him? Were you this guy's a little bit too much? I mean, even the people who he played with who absolutely hated him, they always acknowledge how great he was. But did you think he was going to be great when you were with him at that stage of his career? It's kind of hard to know at that time, but what were you seeing from him as a person and as a goaltender?
Oh, you knew he was going to be good. I mean, I saw him in the Canada Cup before he actually came over here and played. I'd played against him, and he was great then. So you knew he was going to be great. He just needed that opportunity. And unfortunately, he got the opportunity when he's playing with me. But no, I get along great with Dom. We had a lot of fun together.
Do you look at that Buffalo team and say, God damn, the fans there and whatnot, and you look at it they've been bad for a long time, and I don't know if it's going to change anytime soon. Like it's been terrible.
Hey, the 1 year we had a good team. Alex McGillney got hurt in the playoffs. Patty LaFontaine got hurt in the playoffs. But that was a team that had a chance to have a run at things. You got to be healthy to get through the playoffs, and we didn't stay healthy to go through. But yeah, poor Buffaloes, they've had a tough go, whether it be football, hockey.
Yeah.
There's just not a whole lot of luck hanging out there.
No.
You said Hasek was fun. Like really? Like you guys had fun together, or you mean like just?
I get along great with him. Hey, Dom's different, but at the same time, he's a goalie. So goalies have a tendency to get along with each other.
I know. Hey, what happened in Buffalo with that golf club, man? They wouldn't let you in. Did you call them out publicly? Like, because then they tried to backpedal and like take it back as to why they wouldn't let you in. But like, what do you think is the reason why they wouldn't give you a membership to the? And like, was this like the big boy club there, like the most prestigious club in Buffalo? Like, tell us about that too.
I don't know if it was the most prestigious club. I think the most prestigious club at that time was the Country Club of Buffalo, and I lived just off the back of that course. And everybody said that it was the stuffy place, but no issues playing golf there. Just the one course, I can't even remember the name of it now. Their board decided that I wasn't of the right color to join. So
they said that.
So they sent you
well, they wouldn't tell me that, but
yeah,
it came out that way, and the media got a hold of it, and the media kind of ran with it, whereas I didn't really care. I just went and joined another golf course. I mean, if somebody doesn't want you there, there's no sense making a big deal about it. You go find somewhere where they do want you, which is what I did. I went out and joined a club called Fox Valley, and it was great. So it wasn't something I really worried about, but apparently the fans didn't take it so well, and the board got run through the mill. Somebody went and burnt swastikas into the greens. Things got a little sensitive.
Wow. Damn.
Did you deal with a lot of racism as a player? You hear some of the stories even from the current player now, some of the stuff that they deal with. I mean, a guy like John Van Beesbrook is going through it right now with what happened with Trevor Daley and some of this stuff, man. So, like, is that relatable for you? What some of these current players say they've gone through as hockey players?
You know what? Fans have always got lots to say. So it's a matter of whether you want to pay attention to it or not. And you try and tune it out. And I just got to know Val James a little bit. And you listen to some of the stuff that Val went through in some of the American League cities. And I felt pretty fortunate. I mean, one, I was isolated with the greatest guys in the world. So you look at Mess, you look at Gretz. The last thing in the world anybody wants to do is find me. So that part was great. And being a goalie, you hide behind a mask. So at that time, I was still wearing the full face mask. So nobody really knew or really paid attention to it until I got down in the States.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, do you look at it like there's, it's a pretty good opportunity for everybody to play hockey. Hockey's in a good spot right now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's getting better and better.
And you look at the United States.
So I'll tell you a good story. When I first got to Buffalo, not having really experienced a whole lot in Canada, my accountant came down. We were having breakfast one morning, and he ordered brown toast. Well, everybody got served except him, and we couldn't figure it out. It was an older black lady that was serving us. She took offense to him ordering brown toast instead of calling it whole wheat toast.
Right.
Oh, so really?
To us, we had no idea what the problem was. It didn't even register.
Well, even though he was there with you, like she still took offense to that or whatever.
So that's when you first started to notice it, and because your whole life you grew up calling it brown toast. You want white or brown?
Yeah. You were like but you see, you got to take some pride though, man. The first black player to ever go into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and the only black player to be part of that top 100 of all time. Does that mean something to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel fortunate that I just followed in a lot of guys' footsteps. So I kind of get the benefit and the credit of the hard work they did. And you look at a guy like Willie, you look at Herb Carnegie, you look at Mike Marson, Bill Riley that played in Washington, you look at Tony McKegney. And all the guys that came before me didn't really get credit for being good players. So I kind of look at that as the credit I got kind of goes back to all those guys as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what about when you missed a year, man? They suspended you, and it's like now they don't even test for like recreational drugs and stuff like
But
that
now
with
you
the
have a
current.
program. So
Yeah,
that's the one
you're right in
positive
the
about
program.
it is they brought a program in, and they brought the players' assistance program in, basically because of me. So
it is. Yeah.
in that sense, it's a positive. Wasn't a very
Helping a
much,
lot of people.
It's helping people now, and back then it wasn't about helping; it was about punishing. So we suffered through that part of it.
What'd you do, man? Like, cause it's like, what was the reason they suspended you? Because you admitted something in a story or whatever. Like, were they even like testing you?
Yeah.
Or did your agent suggested you take a test and that kind of backfired? Right? Was that a bad move for you guys to do that? Like, what happened there?
No, it turned out that I'd gone to a program to kind of clean things up a little bit, and it came out a couple of years later that I had been through it. So I admitted that, yeah, I had partied enjoyed myself, had probably a little more than I should have. And then I got the year suspension for admitting that I had done it. So basically I got suspended for admitting that I went and got help. And that's the part that was hard to take. But then they came out later, within the next 6-8 months, they came out with the program where they were going to decide they were going to help players. So, and there was a couple of previous players before me that I think the suspensions were 5 and 6 games. And then all of a sudden I got a year, which they commuted back to 40 games. So it's kind of like, okay, we're going to be the guinea pig and the brunt of it. But at the same time, as long as something positive comes out of it, then it's not a bad thing.
No, and you're right. If you're the one that started that, that's unbelievable because there's a lot of guys that are getting help right now, current and alumni. But like, how bad were you? I mean, was coke like abundant around at the time? I mean, we're talking the 80s, pretty much everywhere. It's more popular than weed at the time. So like, were you addicted, or were you just partying and having fun?
No, you just partied. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to play in the era of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So you hung out with people, and were the best choices? No. Did I have fun at the time? Most definitely. When I look back at it, was it probably not very bright? Yeah, but I was a 24-year-old kid. Mm. So you live and learn sometimes, and you know what? It goes to show, like when I see kids now and talk to kids now, they ask, and I'm like, yeah, you can make a mistake and you can still be successful. Don't let the mistake haunt the rest of your life.
Are you sober now?
I am.
How long has it been?
Oh, what are we? 1986.
Wow.
So,
damn.
No beer, nothing. You don't glass of wine.
I'll have a glass of wine or a drink once in a while, but
yeah, haven't
touched a drug in forever.
Good for you, man.
So when they suspended you, it kind of came out of nowhere. I imagine you're not getting paid. And were you like, what? Did you try to fight it right off the bat? Like, what'd you do when you were suspended? Like, how were you staying in shape? Were you on? I mean, because nowadays, I mean, a goalie could go skate with the U.S. program or a top junior team or a college team, and they can stay in shape and face shots every day. How'd you keep your game ready to go for when they did allow you to get back in?
You know what? For the 40 games or whatever, I didn't skate. I mean, Glenn Sather, I had a great meeting with Glenn. So, yeah, I couldn't be paid to play hockey, but I could be paid to go to the gym and work out. So I went and worked out twice a day and with a trainer and just tried to keep the reflexes sharp, tried to stay strong. And then they allowed me to practice for about a week before I played my first game. And opened on the road, which was perfect, played in New Jersey, and I think we won 5-0. So it was kind of a nice statement to say that, sorry, you can't take it away. There's another term that goes with it, but just in case kids are watching, we'll kind of leave it at that.
So they paid you. You got paid that year.
Yeah, I get paid for going to the gym.
I love it. Well, that's cool, good, man. So that means, Sather's a good guy. And apparently he vouched for you with the league, too. He said, listen, I've given this guy 3 tests, and they've all came back negative.
Yeah. Oh, no, they literally tested me all the time after that. And you might get tested 20 times a year.
Wow.
So, which wasn't a big deal.
Man, the guy shows up, and he's got to piss in that cup. He's watching you in the bathroom. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
Well,
Hey,
the only good thing is he wasn't holding it for you.
No, but he was close to you.
He was close enough. He probably
He's
could
close. He's close to you.
Hey, when Gretzky came to St. Louis, what version of Gretzky did Blues fans see here? Like, was he still the great one, or
no,
still
he was
like
still the great one? Oh yeah, he was still the great one. I mean, it's unfortunate he didn't stay longer because it would have been fun to watch him and Holly mesh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just unfortunately just didn't work out at that time.
Yeah, they didn't click right off the bat. Everyone assumed that they were going to. You know, the greatest passer in the history of the game, with arguably the greatest, goal scorer at that time in the history of the game, that it would just be automatic. Like, what were you seeing from your vantage point in the crease? Like, were they trying to force it? What was it like watching those two, try to develop some chemistry?
No, you know what? It takes timing. I think that's the biggest thing. And when it didn't work in the first couple of games, Mike broke them up. So they never really got that opportunity. Or if we practiced, they didn't practice in the same line. So they never really got an opportunity to find that chemistry. And they were under the microscope right from the beginning. So that probably made it pretty tough.
Gosh.
Yeah, I know. Isn't there like a story of Keenan went and knocked on Gretzky's hotel room door with some beer or something, wanting to have a conversation?
Yeah. We had him on. He said that, actually.
Yeah. Who, Wayne said that?
No, Keenan.
Oh, Keenan said it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had Keenan on.
Yeah.
We have everybody on.
I don't know what all exactly happened, but whatever it was, didn't end up well at the end of the day.
I think Twister told us a story of Wayne coming on the bus and being like, guys, I'm not re-signing here next year or whatever.
We had Twister on too.
Hey, so
we know everything about all that stuff. It's
so who was your favorite goaltending tandem, your partner that you had, that you got along with the best?
Who did I get along with the best? Probably Andy Moog. Andy Moog and Ronnie Lowe my first couple of years. They were both great. I had no bad partners. I think that's the other fortunate part. I had Andy Moog for my first little while. I had Ronnie Lowe my first year, so it was nice to have a veteran guy to talk to. Then we brought in Billy Ranford. I got to Toronto. I had Jeff Reese, which is good. Then they traded and brought in Rick Wamsley. I had Dom in Buffalo. I had Bruce in St. Louis. And then they brought in Johnny Casey. And I had Freddie Brathwaite in Calgary. So I had all good partners.
Wow.
Who's tougher, Dave Semenko or Tony Twist?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That would be a tough one because they're both.
Hey, listen, we have our audience. I'm telling you, they crave this.
These
stuff.
are his buddies. He's got to pick one.
I'm just saying, he's got to.
It's like asking you who your favorite kids are.
who do you think was more intimidating? I know Semenko played a little bit more, of course, but
you know what? They were different types of fighters. Semenko wouldn't fight you to hurt you unless you really pissed him off, whereas Twister wanted to hurt you every time he fought you.
Oh,
so that's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
But the best part is they're both honest fighters. They wouldn't just go out and grab somebody. There was a purpose to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a purpose.
Two monsters.
There's no doubt. Hey, did people leave Gretzky alone? Wasn't it? It's kind of like an unwritten rule that I saw a video the other day when he was in L.A. of Big Walt, Keith Tkachuk actually running him near the bench, and then McSorley coming in and just goes crazy. But did people, for the most part, refrain from taking runs at Wayne, knowing that there'd be repercussions right off the bat? How'd you see people play against him?
Oh no,
the approach.
You wouldn't take a run at him because if you ran at him, you either got to fight Marty, Semenko, Donnie Jackson. There was a lineup waiting for you. So guys
Messier, would Messier fight a lot back then? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. So that's kind of my pet peeve in the game today. Is there's a spot for guys like that because you want your stars to be stars. Well, guess what? If you have a couple of those guys around, nobody's going to hit you in the back of the numbers. Your stars are able to play, and it frees up the game and it polices the game and actually makes the game safer. Where now suits make a decision. Guys aren't afraid to run somebody from behind because, it's a fine. Well, I'm making $5 million. The fine doesn't really matter. Punch in the face, that matters.
Yeah, well, the guys are hitting from behind quite a bit lately. Notice that if you watch. It truly, you just got to be able to play now. The game's so damn fast. You don't think these guys want a guy that could beat people up. They're not around, They're just not around. They're not built like that anymore consistently.
No, well, that's the hard part for guys like that is the pace of the game right now. The pace of the game's gotten so fast.
Yep. So fast. The game's fun.
There's still room for them. We've got a kid here in Coachella Valley. He doesn't play every night, but if you know you're going against somebody that's a little chippy or there's some hard feelings from a previous game, our coach dresses him. And he can play a little bit too. He's a decent skater, but he knows what his job is.
Hey, before we let you go, how involved do you stay with keeping in touch with like the NHL though? I mean, do you go to the Hall of Fame for the ceremony occasionally? I mean, you still keep in touch with all your former teammates? I mean, like, especially the big dogs, Gretzky and everybody. Like, I mean, you'll always keep a foot in the door, right? And has this helped you now with Coachella being there, just kind of giving you that itch to get back in with things, you know?
You know what? I still enjoy being around the rink. I think that's the fun part is I still love going to the rink every day and hanging out, talking to the guys. And I still love catching up with our guys. So I get a chance to see them around once in a while. I'd still try to pop into the Hall of Fame every couple of 3 years just because it's fun to go down there and catch up with everybody. So, yeah, I still love the game. I still love being around it.
Who's the best golfer, hockey player that you played with?
That I've played with?
Or whatever. Who's out there?
Danny Quinn used to be really good.
Yeah,
Ray
we had
Shepard's
him
a
on.
good player. Ray Whitney's a really good player. Brendan Morrow's a good player. Yep. So the hockey guys would fare pretty well against any other sport.
How's Holly, Modano?
Holly can play. Yeah. Mike Modano's a good player. I mean, we could probably roll out 20, 25 guys in the NHL.
They're all good,
great players.
I know.
They're all good.
And these nowadays, these young guys that come into the league, they've been playing golf since they were like 5 years old too. A lot of them.
Well, you know, we got a couple of the kids here that are good players that will remind you that they're good players. So we'll still go out and do battle with them once in a while.
Hey, what'd your parents do? Like, did you grow up playing golf? Did you?
No, I took golf up in junior because I wasn't old enough to get in a bar. So you had to have something to do. And I played out in Victoria, so you could play golf all winter.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
What'd your parents do growing up?
Mom was just basically the home caretaker, and Dad sold insurance.
There you go. Good old Canadian family,
Good old
man.
Canadian family, baby.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you guys do in your Canada Cups? Go ahead and brag about that real quick.
Let's see. 84 we won. 87 we won. We split with the Russians in Rendezvous in 86. Let's see. What else did we do? Silver medal in 89 at the World Championships. So I think it was okay.
Okay. Yeah,
pretty good.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Ain't bad.
Hey, man.
You're the man.
You are, man. You're an absolute legend. Icon, man.
Yeah.
We're happy we finally were able to make this work and get you on. So
and
keep doing your thing for Coachella, man.
Yeah, and people in St. Louis, where we're from, they love you, man. They talk about you all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming back there again. It's a great city, and it's always a fun place to hang out.
Well, we'll get you in the Blues Hall of Fame. I mean, you'll be in there before too long. Mike Caruso will get you in. There's no question about that.
Damn right.
So it won't be too long before you're a Blues Hall of Famer too, man. You can add that to your resume.
Well, you guys just have to make sure you give Mike a hard time.
Oh, always.
Oh, we will.
Always giving him a hard time.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Hey,
he gives us a hard time.
Are you doing TV or just radio?
I do both. So when we have TV games, I do pre-game show, intermissions, post-game show. And then radio, I do pre-game show, do color during the game, intermissions, and post-game show.
You know what that means, Grant?
It means surrendered and gone to the dark side, almost a media person.
You know, it means you're a media guy.
You're a media guy now. Everything you hated.
Can you believe it?
Welcome.
I still don't admit it.
We are too. It's all good.
Hey, man, you're the best.
You're the best. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, enjoy the game tonight. Good luck the rest of the way.
See you,
Furzy. Right, thanks. Guys, take care.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. Behlmann. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. That was Grant Fuhr, baby.
Grant Fuhr, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Gets chirped on Twitter a lot. I know.
Yes,
he does.
Well, he goes back at him, which I love.
But what
about
starts
him,
it though? Because there's a lot of guys like no one just like starts fights, even with me, and I'm more controversial
They'll be like,
than he is.
You suck. You let in 9 goals a game, and he's like, what?
He's like,
I got like 5 stars.
How does that start? Does he like the
He's
only reason?
He's like, I'm a Hall of Famer.
The only reason why, like, if I just do stuff on the podcast, but if I get like political or something, which I would never do because it's just no reason for it.
You have before, but yeah.
On Twitter?
No,
I have not.
Not on Twitter, no.
No. But if you did that, I could see why people would just get crazy on you.
Yeah.
But does he do that? I
don't
don't know.
know.
Because I don't understand.
He'll have some good comebacks, though. He'll be like, anybody could have made the Hall of Fame in one game's playing in that system. He's like, yeah, but it's funny. They chose me over you.
Yeah. But like, what
He's
started?
like, I never saw I haven't seen your highlights or your videos
Yeah, but
or stats.
they get dark. I I saw a couple nasty ones. Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Dude, like, leave Grant Fuhr alone,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
He's like one of the most pleasant human beings we've ever talked to.
He's not loud. He's
Great
not
golfer.
soft-spoken.
He's like broadcasting for Coachella.
Yeah, no shit.
This guy,
he's doing everything.
I know. He's like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And exactly how he sounds and how you think he is how he is
Yeah.
in person. Because I've been around him.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times, man. You know.
And he's just chill. I remember when I was a kid, I did a event. Forest Park, they had a big hockey exhibit, and my hockey team, we were picked to volunteer and work at it when like kids and teams
What team
would
was
come
that?
through.
B2.
No, I'm like my high school team. I was top
A
10.
lot of high school stories you got from that team. How many 4 years you played?
Yeah, varsity all 4 years. I was top 10 in scoring 3 years in a row.
I'm gonna have to see things on this, dude.
Oh, I'll bring it in. I was like, I think
Parkway North.
I think I was.
So guys, look this up.
Hey, look
Andy
at
Strickland.
1990. I was 7th overall in '95.
7th
for
overall
sure.
to what?
Scoring in the league.
Just look it up, guys.
I think
so we
Blues
can
History.
stop this
I think
now.
Blues History put it up there on his Twitter one time that I was like top 7 in scoring or something. Just look that up, Cam.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't come watch.
Wow. I know. I heard about you. You know.
Are you? I'm trying to tell a story about Grant, and
Go
you
ahead.
want to be.
Oh, I'm just curious.
Oh no! See, you're being you're being
'Cause you talk about your hockey-
negative, Cam.
You talk about your hockey
No,
career more
I'm
than I
not.
do.
I'm telling a story
you
how they
talk
had.
about your hockey career more than I do. So I'm just curious.
Did you play?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
See, that's how it is.
Okay,
it's all
listen.
good, but
Hey,
you do talk about your hockey
But
career.
I'm not talking about the hockey career. Our team, we went and volunteered at Forest Park to go work this exhibit.
Yeah.
And it was like, how hard's your shot? You know,
How hard was that? Go ahead.
it was
Sorry.
cool though.
I don't want to interrupt because I don't want you doing that. to me.
So-
My bad.
Grant Fuhr, they had a couple Blues players come out there for a few hours. And he was stationed in my exhibit. So he and I, we hung out the whole, I forgot to bring it up to him. He wouldn't remember anyway, but
Yeah, that's all good.
he had these like green like Nikes on, dude. He was just so chill. He's exactly how he was then, how he
Yeah.
is now, man. He was so cool. Keenan sent him home. He's got great stories.
That's pretty gutless.
That kind of got him going, though.
Yeah, I bet.
He's like, yeah, I went and played in a couple golf tournaments.
No, he was down and out before he came to St.
That's
Louis.
why he and I get along so well. I wore a golf shirt during the interview, too, if you notice. Cam got mad about that. I just figured,
Mad?
I'd wear my golf shirt for him from Waggle Golf.
No, yeah, it matched pretty good. You're right.
Oh, Cam was like, you don't even match.
Oh, Andy thinks that
It was like 70 degrees that day. Cam's got a scarf on like he does today.
Yeah, it's just my style.
How
but,
many
like,
scarves did you buy?
Kate buys them for me.
How many do you have
A
now?
lot now. But like Andy thinks like coming into a podcast with a Hall of Famer that his shirt is going to be like a big topic of the day, and it's just not.
Well, I
Like,
wanted to bring my
Grant's
clubs.
like, well, cool. You got like he's like probably like what? So that's the weird.
I didn't
thing.
make a big deal out of it at all.
No, you did at
Didn't
the
even
beginning.
draw any
Well,
attention
you'll listen to it.
with you.
You're like, check my. Grant. I'm a golfer too. Hey, me and you. Look, me and you. And he's like, cool,
Well,
man.
I was
You
going to
know,
bring my clubs in.
This is
actually.
obvious. It's all good.
It's going to bring
And
my
then,
clubs in.
he's like, he's bragging about bringing his clubs, and Grant's like, you serious?
I should have asked what kind of clubs to use.
Yeah. You guys have a good conversation about golf. I'm sure. You'd step on his line if you golf with him. He'd be so annoyed by you.
I'd be playing
He'd
music.
be like, so Grant, like, where's my ball at, Grant? Grant, where's my ball?
Grant, which club should I use?
Grant, we got to go back. I left my club.
I
at
left
the-
my
yeah.
clubs. But, dude,
He'd be so annoyed by you.
see,
He'll
I
love you.
know when a guy's really good at golf, I'm not going to slow you down, dude. I will just sit in the
You
car.
slowed every time I've golfed with you.
No,
you're
I
the
will-
slowest,
I will
annoying, most
sit-
annoying guy.
You're the only golfer I
Oh,
know that's worse than
he's
me.
not he's not the most annoying. He's like up
I'm
there.
fun, dude.
I had a guy
Golf
that
with.
was so annoying. His mommy and daddy had money. He was forced into our golf foursome by just like a business thing that we didn't. We're like, what? Okay, we'll have him come in. He was so obnoxious.
Who?
I don't know. I forgot his name. His mom and dad had money. He just was. Not that matters, but you could just tell it all
Cam,
fit the circle.
the times we've been golfing together have
This-
been fun.
Hold on.
dude.
Oh yeah, I had a blast with you.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't me,
We're smoking cigars after.
if it wasn't me, you'd be
Just tell
annoying.
Wes we'll do-
If you would,
know.
if it wasn't me, it would be
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah, okay.
This guy was so obnoxious, dude. He'd stay up there for a minute,
Doing
and
what?
just like waiting,
tossing the
waiting,
grass up?
just wait. Yes, waiting. And we're like, damn, this guy is hardcore. Like the first couple of holes, or first couple tee shots. He's like, damn, we're like, this guy's hardcore. Wait, sit back, watch. Wait, sit back, watch. Then goes up there and duffs it like dun 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 dun. And then be like, what the heck? And then call himself by this third person. What the heck, Mike? Come on,
oh
Mike.
my God.
Mike, you're better than that. Mike, come on. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no,
then he goes up there and does it again from right there. Waits, does his thing. Wait. Same fucking thing. Over and over and over. I wanted to kill him.
Not golfing.
No, I wanted to kill him. I started making fun. I started being mean.
So Saturday night, we go to Putt Shack. And, you know, my putting game is probably my strength, Cam, to be honest with you. As I showed. I won with the family.
You're the best at everything.
I won. They got so mad because I took a picture. I celebrated my victory. I crushed the whole family, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's tough to do.
They want to bring it, then let's do it. Okay, so it's Saturday night, and I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea. Like, people are going down there to hang out. They're on dates, to party, and, you know, it's downtown St. Louis. Very safe, though, like where it is. We had a great parking.
You live 10 minutes away. You're acting like this is such a journey for you. And he's like, should I be downtown? I'm like, you're fine, dude.
So Putt Shack was awesome. Anyway, but like my kids, the line is just getting longer and longer behind us. So I'm like apologizing to people.
Oh, you're annoying.
My wife's going to get another margarita.
I told you he's fucking in every way. Like, okay, come on.
No, and everybody was very cool about it.
Oh, they
But
hated
Ty's
you.
doing this, dude, before every shot. He's like measuring the lie.
Talk to him,
And I'm like, dude, you got to like hustle this up.
There's
You got to
pace
speed
of
it up.
play.
Oh, yeah. And then they start getting competitive. Like, you know, he and Ivy just start going at it.
So you have a time limit on those?
There's no time limit.
Oh, so how does that work? How could they get mad at you if you rented it out?
Well, no, because people are like trying to hit behind you.
Okay, so you have to finish your hole.
And then they go.
Okay, you're annoying. That's it.
They were cool though, dude.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
they were fucking pissed at you.
They were like, there was a couple Blues fans too. They were like,
and that now you got a bad reputation with the fans.
No, they were great, man. I was giving them, hey, do you guys want to go in front of us type thing. So the way it is at Putt Shack,
they're going to do that with children involved.
But you can go in any order you want because you don't have to write it down.
Yeah.
There's a chip in the ball, and it keeps track of your score.
Oh, that's kind of cool,
dude.
That's kind of cool.
This is the best putt.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, I've hit up a number of putt courses around the country, dude.
It's a good story.
Thinking about doing some competitions.
It's a good story.
If I can compete, gets my I still got to use my competitive.
And he's just
juices.
one of those guys. He does one thing, and he's like, I could do this for
professionally. Hey, First Form and firstform.com, Cam.
They got it going, man. I told you my routine.
Yeah.
Get up and get hydrated.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use that link. Tell them to use the link.
You got to use the link, man. Helps all of us out. But get up and get hydrated right off the bat, dude.
Level 1 Formula, the Stricky package.
Yeah.
Level 1 Formula 1 collagen, greens, and the multi-factor vitamins.
But I get up and I take the hydration powder in my water.
Oh, those are like it's like
I just go boom.
It's like a way. I don't even like to say use the word.
Oh, it's like
a way healthier, more beneficial version of like Gatorade or something.
Oh my! No, it's more like Pedialyte.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But Gatorade and Pedialyte are completely different. But it's like
electrolytes, right?
Yes, but Gatorade has sugar, horrible sugar.
Oh, it's terrible for you.
But this is healthy. It's like Pedialyte, but it's probably cheaper.
No sugar.
And it's easy to do, and I just crush it, and
you know Gatorade, it's actually horrific for you.
Dude, I'll drink Gatorade when I'm sick, man. When I got sick for the first time in a decade, that night, I was crushing water, and nothing, I could not quench my thirst. And
really?
And I started drinking even a soda. When you're sick, sometimes soda is good too. Just sipping.
You've been drinking a lot of soda, dude. I've been hearing you talk
No, it's all gone now.
Okay.
It already ran out. I crushed
You crushed all the soda.
But when I was sick and I was dehydrated as hell, I was craving Gatorade.
Okay.
And I would crush Gatorade and it quenched my thirst. And water didn't.
Who are you taking in the Super Bowl?
I said 49ers.
You did?
They're probably not going to win.
Are you coming over?
On a Sunday night?
For the game?
No. Because we got Mardi Gras I got to do the Blues alumni event.
Oh, the day
Mardi
before.
Gras, yep.
Okay.
So
firstform.com/Cam and Strick.
Check
there
that
today.
out.
All right, Illinois Recovery Center, 800-743-0971. Message me, man. I'll get you in touch with Chrissy. I'll get you in touch with Eric. You can also touch base with Cam. And
I would text me, man, and get a hold of all my social media.
Yeah.
All my DMs are open. If you guys have a problem, I know I hear your stories every
people
fucking day.
really appreciate that. Cam.
I know, dude. I swear to God,
they
I'll
tell
help
me
you.
that.
I'll help you. It's when you start asking me about like the Blues power play, I'm like, I can't get it back. But if you tell me a story about fucking getting out of shit, I will call you.
Yeah.
I'll call you on the phone. It might be WhatsApp if you're in Canada. Although I got my plan, so never mind. I could do it. I forgot I had my plan. So I'll call you, man. I swear to God, I'll do it. So
Can you call through WhatsApp?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah.
But if you get a hold of me, if you don't want to, I'll explain everything to you, and then Chrissy Pondoff, those guys will take care of you. Get it done.
Yeah. Get it done. 800-743-0971, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Bellman and Bellman.com. At Bellman, you get no.
Swinging decks.
And it's located where?
Chai, Missouri.
Say hi to Danny boy.
Danny, what's up, homie?
And say hi to Kenny.
Kenny.
And Dale.
Dale, get on with yourself.
And Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Everybody gets approved. You have credit issues. You've been dealing with some issues.
It's all good.
It's okay. We got you taken care of.
They'll take care of you.
Bellman takes care of everybody. Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They got something for everybody.
Right on, man.
And proud supporters of what we do here on the Cam and Strick
Since
podcast.
day one.
By the way, I did a cameo. My cameos are open. I did a cameo over the
too.
weekend. We did it for the same girl. So happy birthday to Ashley.
Yep.
And
I didn't know you're from Minnesota.
Either did I.
Minnesota.
But
happy birthday. Seriously.
I usually like to do my cameos outside when it's smoking a cigar and stuff like that. So this one had to be inside. It's a little different.
Yeah.
But definitely gave her a nice little shout out there. So big shout out to Ashley. Happy birthday to you.
She wanted to see Kate. She goes.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
How do you know? She didn't know.
No,
it was a surprise.
He must have told me.
Oh, he.
Yeah, he's like,
the
hey,
boyfriend.
she's a big fan of Kate. I'm like,
Oh.
okay. So I got Kate. Like, what's up? You know.
It's so funny because I said on the cameo, let me guess, Cam had to bring Kate into the video.
I never do that.
He had to
with
bring
cameos.
the dogs into the video.
Always with doggies though. Kate's not on the cameos that I do with.
But you
random.
did anyway.
She requested it, so I gave it to
They
her.
loved it, man. I got 5 stars for that. Cameo is always open. All right, for everybody here at Half Coast Studios, Maddie,
what up, baby?
for Brody, we're thinking about Brody too,
Brody.
man. Brody,
Love you, buddy.
doing some great work, man,
Damn
behind
right.
the scenes as
Alex.
always. Alex, Amos, Steven, everybody, dude.
Big dogs, baby.
We got a whole team here at the Cam and Strick podcast. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. I want to see some reviews.
YouTube. Check out YouTube.
We'll keep rapping, dude. We'll keep
yeah.
flowing, dude. We flowing up here on the Cam and Strick podcast.
And you might find a shtick. See you guys. Love you.